Chapter 904. On this day, within the 10,000 sacred clan, Grand Elder Old Monster Su, who had been in seclusion for several hundred years, left the forbidden grounds. This action stunned the other two emperors, but before they could ask anything, Old Monster Su had already left. Old Monster Su couldn't sit still anymore when he heard that the Nine Darkness demonic lord had taken action against Zhao Feng. I hope that Zhao Feng is still alive. Old Monster Su had an impatient gaze. In reality, he wanted the 100 origin sacred honey in Zhao Feng's hands. He understood how mysterious and strong Zhao Feng was, but the difference between him and a mystic light realm sacred lord was like heaven and earth. How could he be so competitive? Old Monster Su could only hope that Zhao Feng's strength had increased recently and would be able to last a bit longer. I'll go to the Duke's palace and find Duke Nanfeng first. Otherwise, there's no chance of victory. Old Monster Su had already made his plan. Firstly, the Nine Darkness demonic lord wouldn't dare to take action against Duke Nanfeng since the Great Gan Imperials stood behind him. Secondly, he and Duke Nanfeng were two quasi-sacred lords, and they might be able to fight against a sacred lord with Zhao Feng's help. As long as he saved Zhao Feng and promised Zhao Feng something, Old Monster Su believed that Zhao Feng wouldn't refuse since they were from the same sect. That's the Nine Darkness demonic lord? Old Monster Su's expression changed. The sacred power that filled heaven and earth caused the true Yuan within his body to tremble. Wasn't the Nine Darkness demonic lord chasing after Zhao Feng? Why was he here? Where was Zhao Feng? Was he already killed? At this moment, Old Monster Su's emotions were complex. Not good. Old Monster Su was about to say something when he bit his finger and drew a weird rune in the air with his blood. His body then turned into a ball of blood-colored light that exploded and disappeared. Boom! A storm of sharp metallic light appeared behind him, and countless ear-piercing metallic screeches covered everything. It was as if the only sound in the world of metal was the sound of metal. Whoosh! 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 All living beings below were turned into dust by the storm of metal. Bam! Old Monster Su, who had fled for tens of thousands of kilometers, was smashed into the ground by the shock waves. When Old Monster Su leaped out, he looked ahead in a daze. His mind was blank, and he had lost the ability to think. Within a radius of 10,000 li, there was a huge crater that was dozens of zhang deep. On the surface of the pit, there were countless tiny cut marks, covering every inch of it, and it even emitted a formless sharp metal aura. And this was when the center of the explosion was in mid-air. It was hard to find the aura of the Nine Darkness Demon Lord within tens of thousands of miles. Didn't the Nine Darkness Demon Lord go after Zhao Feng? How did this happen? Old Monster Su murmured in a daze. Could this be the power of the god-slaying arrow? Old Monster Su recalled the phantom of the golden divine arrow behind the Devil Lord just now. He raised his head again, but his heart was empty. Who would have thought that Zhao Feng would actually obtain this substandard god artifact in the ancient mysterious mansion? Substandard god weapons were divine weapons that only demigods could fully control. As for the god-slaughtering arrow, which could only be used once, its explosive power was not something an ordinary substandard god weapon could compare to. Even a demigod could only dodge. Old Monster Su still couldn't believe that a mystic light realm sacred lord that could shake the continent had been killed by a middle-stage void god realm king and turned to dust right next to him. Thinking up to there, Old Monster Su felt fear, and cold sweat appeared on his back. If he had been half a beat slower just now, if he didn't have that secret escape technique, if he had escaped in the wrong direction, he would have been reduced to ashes. Zhao Feng. Old Monster Su recovered from his thoughts and flew into the air. Old Monster Su soon found Zhao Feng by following the sharp aura of the god-slaying arrow. At this moment, Zhao Feng's body was withered, and his face was pale. Blood leaked out of his mouth as he sat in a crater. Old Monster Su's footsteps stopped as his eyes spun. Zhao Feng had just fought with a sacred lord and used the god-slaying arrow. He should be extremely weak and wouldn't be able to fight back at all. He was the biggest beneficiary of the divine illusion dimension and one of the biggest winners of the ancient mysterious mansion. He had many secrets. If he attacked now, Old Monster Su's eyes became deep as his right hand trembled in hesitation. Finally, Old Monster Su sighed and quickly walked toward Zhao Feng. "Little friend Zhao, how are you feeling? Protect me. I need to recover." Zhao Feng's lips moved slightly, and some peak-grade primal crystal stones appeared in his hand. He shattered them, and pure heaven-earth yuan surged into his true yuan dimension. Zhao Feng first turned the heaven-earth yuan into the water of wind lightning. The water of wind lightning's strong recovery ability could quickly heal his injuries. He then turned part of the water of wind lightning into the wood of wind lightning, which worked together with the water of wind lightning to heal. The god-slaying arrow had used up all the energy in Zhao Feng's body. If he didn't replenish his energy in time, there would be serious side effects. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's left eye had already noticed Old Monster Su's arrival. Zhao Feng had been waiting for him. Old Monster Su's heart jumped. Zhao Feng was still as calm as water. He was heavily injured, but he was still so calm, as if he wasn't afraid that Old Monster Su would attack him. "Okay." Old Monster Su replied, and a surge of quasi-sacred lord-level magnificent power spread out, but it didn't affect Zhao Feng at all. Old Monster Su couldn't see through Zhao Feng, who was shrouded in a layer of mystery. He didn't dare to attack, or rather, he didn't dare to gamble. He didn't dare to gamble that Zhao Feng was just bluffing or that he had other plans. If he couldn't obtain the 100 Origin sacred honey, he would die within 3 years. Furthermore, the death of the 9 Darkness demonic lord had shocked him. Life and death could be decided by a single thought. Old Monster Su chose to compromise. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he healed. This was a test for Old Monster Su. If Old Monster Su tried to take advantage of the situation, then the matter of the 100 Origin sacred honey would be over. Furthermore, the little thieving cat and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight wouldn't give Old Monster Su a chance to attack. The water of wind lightning and wood of wind lightning soon circulated within Zhao Feng's body, and the life force within Zhao Feng's body started to recover. Zhao Feng then ate some 100 Origin fruit juice and the green leaf of the green water sky lotus. What made him overjoyed was that his sacred lightning body had broken through to the peak stages of the 5th level even though all the life force within his body had been squeezed out. This meant that Zhao Feng only needed to use the 100 Origin sacred honey to reach the limit of the 5th level and create a firm foundation for the 6th level of the sacred lightning body. His cultivation was also closing in on the late stages of the Void God realm, and he only needed to consolidate it before breaking through. However, what made Zhao Feng move the most was that the whirlpool at the center of the blue lake in the dimension of his left eye wasn't spinning as calmly as before. A weird light would occasionally flash from it, as if something was brewing. Zhao Feng could already sense it. Seeing that Zhao Feng's injuries were quickly recovering and that his strength had increased, Old Monster Su immediately gave a faint smile and said, "Little friend Zhao, I came this time to apologize for what happened last time. I wasted little friend Zhao's kindness." Old Monster Su started to stutter. After all, he was a bag of old bones, and he was apologizing to a youth who was only in his teens, and the other party was only at the middle stages of the Void God realm. However, when he thought about how a mystic light realm's sacred lord had been killed by Zhao Feng, he felt much better. Seeing that Zhao Feng was still healing and acting as if he hadn't heard anything, Old Monster Su continued to speak, "The second thing is that I came this time to ask little friend Zhao to give me another portion of the 100 Origin sacred honey. If little friend Zhao needs anything in the future, I will do my best to help without any complaints. There's no need to say anything else. I don't need to tell you how precious the 100 Origin sacred honey is. If you want another portion, the only condition is that you become my servant for 100 years. After 100 years, I will give you your freedom." Otherwise, there's nothing else to talk about, Zhao Feng's voice sounded. Old Monster Su's expression froze as he started to think. The value of the 100 origin sacred honey was immeasurable. If one tried to break through to the mystic light realm for the first time, the chance of success was as high as 80%. Even if Old Monster Su took out all his wealth, he wouldn't be able to exchange for a portion of the 100 origin sacred honey in the Great Gon Lord dynasty. Adding on this time, that would be 2 portions of the 100 origin sacred honey. However, only the crown prince of the Great Gon Lord dynasty could have a mystic light realm sacred lord as a servant. What did this Zhao Feng have? No, Zhao Feng has reached the middle stages of the void god realm at such a young age and has the battle power of a quasi-sacred lord. He also has many resources and substandard god weapons from the divine illusion dimension. It won't be a problem for him to become a sacred lord in the future or even higher. His potential is immeasurable. Old Monster Su's thoughts spun. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to make such a request. There are too many people who need the 100 origin sacred honey, and their chances of breaking through to the mystic light realm and their potential in the future aren't something you can compare with, Zhao Feng reminded and got up. With a flash of silver, the little thieving cat landed on Zhao Feng's shoulder and nodded its head at Old Monster Su, as if it was trying to convince him to agree. A black figure appeared behind Old Monster Su and arrived next to Zhao Feng before being covered by a white mist and entering the misty spatial world. Old Monster Su, who was still hesitating, started to sweat. Wasn't that Supreme Emperor Dark Knight? He was ranked 25th in Black Screen Corner and had a record of assassinating a sacred lord. There was also the little thieving cat that followed Zhao Feng like a shadow. It had been hiding nearby, and he hadn't even noticed it. From the looks of it, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight had already teamed up with Zhao Feng for the 100 origin sacred honey. Seeing that Zhao Feng was about to leave, Old Monster Su gritted his teeth and suddenly said, "Little friend Zhao, don't leave yet. I'm willing. As long as you give me another portion of the 100 origin sacred honey, I'm willing to be your slave for 100 years. Old Monster Su was going all out. Although he was half a step into the mystic light realm, that didn't mean that he would definitely reach the mystic light realm. His lifespan was too short. If he failed, then the promise of being a slave for 100 years would be useless. Okay, come with me. Zhao Feng's eyes flashed as he walked forward and placed one hand on Old Monster Su's body before activating the misty spatial world. Zhao Feng didn't believe in a promise when it came to becoming a slave. He needed to plant the dark heart seal in the other party. At this moment, Zhao Feng's eye intent hadn't recovered yet, so he could only take Old Monster Su away. Old Monster Su felt a weird disturbance in space as he was surrounded by white mist. In the next instant, he appeared in the Duke's palace. This is spatial travel. Could it be the misty spatial world? Old Monster Su's heart shook. He had only heard that the misty spatial world had appeared in the divine illusion dimension, but he didn't expect it to be in Zhao Feng's hands. No wonder Zhao Feng was able to sneak into the 10,000 sacred clan last time. Chapter 905. Zhao Feng had gained a lot from the battle with a sacred lord, but it was a pity that he had lost the substandard god-slaying arrow. Zhao Feng wouldn't use the last one unless he had to. It was his biggest killing move right now. Although it was a pity, the battle with a sacred lord was unavoidable. He couldn't stay in the Duke's palace forever. If he did that, he would owe Duke Nanfeng a favor, and the chances of him getting the Cloud Silkworm Saint Butterfly would become smaller and smaller. Furthermore, Nine Darkness Palace wasn't the only force that was preparing to take action against Zhao Feng. For example, Earth Spirit Hall might send a sacred lord as well. He had offended many forces in the divine illusion dimension, but most of them were too far away, and he believed that many more forces were on their way. Thus, Zhao Feng needed some sort of deterrence. However, the Nine Darkness demonic lord had arrived too quickly, and Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body hadn't broken through to the 6th level yet, so he couldn't fight back against a sacred lord. Therefore, Zhao Feng made his decision from the very beginning. He would use a god-slaying arrow and the life of the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord in exchange for this threat. Mystic Light Realm Sacred Lords were the peak of an era, and even 3-star superpowers only had a few of them. Who would complain about having too many? However, this threat was only temporary. He had to cultivate and increase his own strength to a level that his enemies couldn't match up to in order to protect his own life. Within the Duke's palace, Duke Nanfeng became restless. The scouts he sent out still hadn't received any news. Zhao Feng. Duke Nanfeng suddenly sensed something. At the same time, he felt another powerful aura. Duke, sorry for disturbing you. Zhao Feng walked into the hall Duke Nanfeng was in. Zhao Feng, are you okay? That's good. You can stay here for now. If the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord comes again, I won't let him harm you. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng's injuries weren't light. Duke Nanfeng felt slightly apologetic as he patted his chest. Duke, don't worry. The 9 Darkness Demonic Lord won't come again, but I do need to rest here for a day or two, Zhao Feng said with a smile. Duke Nanfeng revealed a puzzled expression. The 9 Darkness Demonic Lord wouldn't come again. What did that mean? He then looked at Old Monster Su and felt a little surprised. Could it be that Old Monster Su and Zhao Feng can fight against the sacred leader if they join forces? After all, Old Monster Su was an old monster who had lived for nearly 10,000 years. His trump cards were not to be underestimated. Old Monster Su stood on the side, and his heart clenched when he saw how much Duke Nanfeng cared for Zhao Feng. It seems like Duke Nanfeng really needs the 100 Origin sacred honey in Zhao Feng's hands. Duke Nanfeng, this old man will also stay here for a while. You won't mind my old bones, right? Within the room, Zhao Feng sat cross-legged and healed. Since his life force had been used up, Zhao Feng ate some rare resources from the Divine Illusion dimension. He then circulated the water of wind lightning and wood of wind lightning within his body to stimulate the medicinal effects and nourish his physique. After doing all this, he sank his consciousness into the soul world. If his soul was severely damaged, it would be troublesome. After all, this was the first time that Zhao Feng had used up all of his soul intent. At this moment, there was only a thin purple mist floating in the soul sea world, and the power of the god tribulation lightning was slowly recovering. The blue lake in the center still gave Zhao Feng a weird feeling. The blue lake had always existed in the dimension of his left eye, and Zhao Feng would be able to sense it even if it was slightly different from before. After inspecting it closely and finding no serious problems, Zhao Feng ate some resources that could condense soul intent and absorb the power of God Tribulation Lightning from the demigod head to condense his soul intent. At the same time, he also checked the recovery of the soul sea world. Late at night, a black figure dashed into a certain hall. Reporting to your highness, the battle between Zhao Feng and the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord has spread across several 100,000 miles, but we haven't found any traces of the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord. A figure in black half-kneeled on the ground. How many auras of battle are there? Duke Nanfeng asked. If Old Monster Su interfered, the aura of a quasi-sacred lord would be easily detected. 2, the black figure said with certainty. However, one of the battlefields is extremely destructive, and there's still a lingering metal elemental aura, the black figure added. Duke Nanfeng's eyes twinkled before returning to normal. You can leave now. Understood. Metal elemental aura. Looks like the rumors from the Imperials were correct. Zhao Feng obtained a substandard god-slaying arrow from the ancient mysterious palace. Duke Nanfeng sighed in a low tone and was stunned. Substandard god weapons were forbidden powers. Every time they appeared, they would shake heaven and earth and affect the situation of the dynasties and clans. A single-use substandard god weapon wasn't worth much. The aura of the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord disappeared, and I can't find any traces of him. Looks like he died to the substandard god weapon. The death of the Nine Darkness demonic lord stunned Duke Nanfeng, but he was more regretful about the single-use substandard god weapon. However, Duke Nanfeng knew that no matter how hard he tried to block the news of the death of a sacred lord, some forces would still be able to find out. Unknowingly, Zhao Feng had obtained a powerful force that temporarily ensured his safety. 3 days later, in Zhao Feng's room he had finished his discussion with old monster Su. "Don't resist," Zhao Feng said calmly as a bottomless purple abyss formed in his left eye, and a surge of eye intent condensed. What powerful soul eye bloodline power! It's almost at the level of a sacred lord. Old monster Su was stunned. Zhao Feng's soul intent had improved once again. A dark purple seal of lightning slowly formed and imprinted itself into the depths of old monster Su's soul along with the aura of God Tribulation lightning. A while later, this is a portion of 100 origin sacred honey. It's your last chance to break through to the mystic light realm, Zhao Feng said faintly. Understood, Master. I won't let you down. Old monster Su's eyes twinkled as he spoke with sincerity. Old monster Su, the 10,000 sacred clan will become my subordinate force in the future and work for me. I need you to manage it and make some changes. Pick out people with talent in intelligence, assassination, and management and train them. You can discuss the specifics with the pavilion master of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, Zhao Feng ordered. In order to create a large force, one needed a large number of foundational members and talented geniuses. The peak 2-star 10,000 sacred clan was perfect. Once old monster Su broke through to the mystic light realm, the 10,000 sacred clan would become a 3-star force. 3-star forces were considered peak existences in the ocean. Understood, Master. Old monster Su seemed to realize something, and he admired Zhao Feng even more. After old monster Su left, Zhao Feng arrived outside Duke Nanfeng's hall. Zhao Feng, you're leaving. Duke Nanfeng's bright voice sounded. Thank you for taking care of me, Duke. I've already thought about the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly. Duke Nanfeng's figure suddenly appeared in front of Zhao Feng. A light flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes, but his expression remained the same. In reality, the reason Zhao Feng came to the Duke's palace to recover was to wait for Duke Nanfeng's reply. He believed that Duke Nanfeng had already investigated the death of the Nine Darkness demonic lord, so he was planning to ask about it one more time before leaving. He didn't expect Duke Nanfeng to bring it up himself. What is Duke's decision? Zhao Feng didn't hide his concern. Zhao Feng, I'm willing to trade with you for the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly. I hope that you'll treat it well. Decisiveness flashed through Duke Nanfeng's eyes as he took out the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly was slightly excited and it saw Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat. It flapped its wings, and a terrifying aura spread. Thank you, Duke. Zhao Feng was overjoyed. He thought that Duke Nanfeng would try to bargain with him. There's a portion of 100 origin sacred honey and some legendary ores that can be used to craft substandard god weapons. Zhao Feng handed over an interspatial ring. Duke Nanfeng looked through it and was shocked. At the same time, a bitter smile appeared on his face as he looked at the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly that was stuck to the little thieving cat. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly was very important to him, but it seemed like it liked Zhao Feng as its owner more. He was also very satisfied with the conditions that Zhao Feng offered. Most importantly, Zhao Feng's future potential was limitless as long as he wasn't killed by an expert. Zhao Feng, if you don't need the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly in the future, I hope that you can trade with me, Duke Nanfeng messaged as he saw that Zhao Feng was about to leave. Duke Nanfeng then returned to his room and prepared to break through to the mystic light realm. Continent Zone, Feng Province, 7 Aperture Mountain. The 7 Aperture Mountain was a famous place in Feng Province. The 7 mountains formed the shape of the Big Dipper, and the spiritual chi within the mountain was dense. Grass and trees reached into the sky, and fierce beasts roamed around. It was a trial ground for many true Spirit Realm and Origin Core Realm disciples of nearby forces. However, at this moment, the 7-aperture mountain was surrounded by a 5-colored light. The 7 mountains had been flattened, and their aura shook everything within 10,000 miles. Even Void God Realm Emperors didn't dare to come close. At the center of the 7-aperture mountain, a black-scaled male was bound by transparent golden chains. Faint golden runes flashed within the chains. You humans dare to ambush the destruction dragon race. The black-scaled male roared at the sky. He had been very careful ever since he came to this physical dimension. He had been killing and destroying in secret to recover his strength. Every time the runes on the golden chains flashed, they would create a large amount of divine power that would exhaust the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's indestructible dragon body kept on recovering under the destruction of the golden divine power, but it would never be able to completely recover. Outside the square-shaped array that trapped the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon, there were 4 balls of light radiating limitless divine power. Each of them stood in a corner. One could faintly see a withered hand, 1 fat, and 2 dignified elders wearing dragon-patterned golden robes. Each of them had a golden chain in their hands. 3 peerless experts floated behind each of the 4 balls of light. They also held a slightly thinner golden chain in their hands, and their every movement radiated limitless power. If Xiao Feng was here, he would definitely be stunned because the aura radiating from each expert floating in the air was dozens of times stronger than the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord. Hurry up and seal it, Grand Emperor Song, the fat-faced elder with big ears messaged from within the ball of light. If this continues, it will exhaust us even more. Don't worry. Our Sky Suspension Palace will pay for the damage of the Golden Yuan Divine Chains, the withered elder immediately said. Decisiveness flashed through Grand Emperor Song's eyes as he roared, "Seal, begin." The entire 7-aperture mountain started to tremble, and limitless divine power condensed and formed a giant crater. The expressions of the experts behind the 4 balls of divine light instantly became solemn as they unleashed the power of their little worlds and circulated their mystic light sacred power. I would rather die than have my freedom shackled again. Black flames surged in the black-scaled male's eyes, and a chaotic surge of black flames broke free from the layers of golden yuan divine chains. When the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body suddenly released an ancient power of destruction, and limitless black flames of divine light shot out. The space around it started to twist under this destruction divine power. The 4-sided array protected by the boundless divine light shattered in the spatial storm. The golden yuan divine chains in everyone's hands started to tremble and hum lightly. Not good, the power of the origin of destruction. Chapter 906. The Destruction Dragon race was a terrifying race ranked 9th among the 10,000 ancient races, and they were born for destruction. Every annihilation dragon's growth was accompanied by endless destruction. They comprehended from destruction and absorbed the origin of destruction to strengthen themselves. The origin of destruction was the source of the Destruction Dragon race's power. Not good, it's the power of the origin of destruction, the chubby elder exclaimed as the sacred power within his body started to tremble. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body released an undying black divine light, and a magnificent power that could destroy heaven and earth affected everything within 10,000 miles. The space nearby became unstable and started to twist under the pressure. Wisps of undying black flames appeared. These black flames burned through the air and started to slowly expand. How can it be so strong? Grand Emperor Song was stunned. The origin of destruction was the foundation of the Destruction Dragon race's power. This meant that if they wanted to weaken the Destruction Dragon race, they needed to reduce its origin of destruction. At this moment, the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's battle power wasn't even at the level of a demigod, but the origin of destruction it released was enough to suppress all the experts present. Even the substandard god weapon, the Golden Yuan Divine Chains, wasn't able to withstand it. All of this exceeded everyone's expectations. It's destroying the dimension within its body in order to obtain even more origin of destruction. Elder Gu Mu's clear eyes seemed to be able to see through everything as he spoke in shock. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon had its own world within its body. This was a unique talent of the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon. That world contained the origin of destruction of the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon, and the two of them interacted with each other. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's unique dimension even contained the element of destruction. Now that the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon was destroying its own foundation, the terrifying ripple of origin of destruction made the hearts of all the experts present shake. The sacred lords in the back felt their power being suppressed, and they couldn't even use their little worlds to descend. What? This black loach. The expression of the other elder in golden robes with dragon tattoos was as deep as dead water. All of you, fall into hell with me. The black flood dragon roared towards the sky, its aura towering into the heavens, venting its anger. The black flames in its eyes burned crazily. A world-shaking aura of destruction suddenly erupted. A crack appeared on the black-scaled man's armor, from which a pitch-black light of destruction shot out. The expressions of the four supreme mighty figures were incomparably grave as they communicated with each other via voice transmission. At this moment, if they continued to seal themselves, not only would they be severely injured, the power of the Golden Yuan divine chains would also weaken dramatically, and the 12 sacred lords behind them might all die. The death of a sacred lord was a small matter, but if the Dark Moon Lord dynasty learned that they were heavily injured, a war between the two dynasties would erupt at any moment. It might even lead to the destruction of the entire dynasty. If he chose to retreat, the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon might be able to escape. At its peak, the Black Flood Dragon could easily destroy the Great Qian dynasty. Soon, the four of them came to a decision. Retreat. Retreat quickly. Grand Emperor Song immediately put away the Golden Origin divine chains. Boom! The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body suddenly exploded, and an ancient and supreme aura descended. Countless black flames of destruction shot out, turning everything in their path into nothingness. The entire 7-aperture mountain was enveloped in the destructive and brutal black light divine flames. The 4 balls of divine light quickly retreated from the 7-aperture mountain. However, the sacred lords weren't so lucky. They didn't know that the ancestors would suddenly give this order. Just being touched by the origin power of destruction was enough for the destructive dragon flames to absorb the power within the sacred lords' bodies and burn even more fiercely. The damage it caused was the same as the undying power of God Tribulation Lightning. The 4 ancestors stood around the 7-aperture mountain, and their eyes flashed. They spread out their divine senses, but they were unable to enter the storm of black flames that contained the origin power of destruction. Suddenly, countless tiny black serpent dragon shadows dashed out of the destructive storm of black flames. At first glance, it looked like an ant's nest. The tiny black serpent dragons were extremely agile and escaped in every direction. Kill them all, a powerful voice sounded from Grand Emperor Song's mouth. All the sacred lords instantly started to move, and their mystic light sacred power suppressed the area and turned hundreds and thousands of black serpent dragons into dust. The 4 ancestors didn't do anything. Their eyes locked onto the depths of the storm of destructive dragon flames, but the magnificent power they released caused all the small black serpent dragons that passed by them to crumble. Shameless humans, the black serpent dragon roared in the world of darkness. A black-scaled black serpent dragon that was 400 to 500 yards long suddenly flew out. Its eyes were blood red, and its scales were covered in cracks and bleeding. Go! The 4 elders released a divine light as they chased after the black serpent dragon. The invisible magnificent power of heaven and earth was like a prison that locked down everything. No one realized that the instant the giant black serpent dragon flew into the sky, a tiny black serpent dragon drilled into the depths of the ground. The day I return will be the day all of you die. After returning to the ocean smoke pavilion, Xiao Feng immediately entered seclusion. His injuries had only recovered by 60% or so, and he still needed to stabilize them. He circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and focused on healing his injuries. A portion of the symbols in his purple soul sea slowly merged into the fire of wind lightning within the crystal core dimension. 3 days later, Zhao Feng's injuries had completely healed, and his purple soul sea had returned to normal. This way, Zhao Feng could cultivate his body and soul intent. He split off a few thoughts and cultivated the fire of wind lightning, sacred lightning body, and sacred lightning dominating fist at the same time to absorb the power of God tribulation lightning within the demigod head. The power of God tribulation lightning was easier to imprint in his purple soul sea, and it could also refine his soul intent. This was why Zhao Feng wasn't afraid of the trouble and imprinted the God tribulation lightning into his fire of wind lightning. 5 days later, Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body suddenly shook, and a flash of golden lightning entered his body. Sacred lightning body, peak 5th level. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. All he needed to do now was use a portion of 100 origin sacred honey, and his sacred lightning body would reach the limits of the 5th level. I should rest for a while and let the power of my sacred lightning body settle, Zhao Feng thought for a moment and nodded. Several more days passed, the aura from Zhao Feng's body suddenly rose to the late-stage void god realm. At the same time, his fire of wind lightning also stabilized at the early stages of the crystal core dimension. More than 100 symbols of God tribulation lightning accompanied his surging red true yuan. On this day, 2 figures descended from the misty moon island zone. One of them was a young male with a tall figure and an ancient green sword of lightning on his waist. He was very young, but he had already reached the level of an emperor. The other was an elder wearing black robes. His face was covered in wrinkles, and his one eye gave off a soul-shaking feeling. "Ninth Prince, are you really going to recruit Zhao Feng?" The one-eyed elder was puzzled. The purple-haired demonic duo's actions in the divine illusion dimension have offended half the forces of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. Furthermore, the 13th prince has said many bad things about the purple-haired demonic duo in front of the sacred emperor, especially Zhao Feng. The entire Imperials don't have a good impression of them, the one-eyed elder said. "Old Ing, I have my own plans," the 9th prince looked at the one-eyed elder with a determined gaze and said seriously. Old Ing shook his head and didn't say anything else. The two moved extremely quickly and soon arrived at the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. This Ocean Smoke Pavilion is a good place. The Heaven Earth Yuan Qi and Feng Shui are both good. Old Ying's eyes flashed. The 9th prince also stopped and looked around the Water Bay sacred land. The Great Gon Imperials have arrived. "Zhao Feng, why aren't you coming out to greet them?" Old Ing suddenly roared, and an invisible magnificent power spread out and covered the entire Water Bay sacred land. Boom! A loud explosion sounded in the Water Bay sacred land. All the birds and beasts were startled, and the ocean shook. The array formation in the mist immediately appeared, showing a hint of disorder. All the members within the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt their blood boil, and they couldn't resist at all. So strong. Bai Qingyue's expression turned to surprise. Whoosh! A dark blue figure flew out and arrived before the 9th prince. She said respectfully, "I'm the pavilion master of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. 9th prince, please come in and have a cup of tea. We can discuss the matter in detail." "Where is Zhao Feng?" "Tell him to come out, 9th prince." Old Ying's deep voice sounded as he looked down from above. "Old Ing, I'll talk," the 9th prince immediately stopped him and flew down. Old Ying's expression became grim, but he could only follow. He wanted to see what kind of ability Zhao Feng had to make the 9th prince personally come out to recruit him. When a strong surge of soul intent suddenly shot out from the hall of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and instantly covered the entire Water Bay sacred land. The magnificent power that Old Ing and the 9th prince controlled instantly lost control of and was taken over by this soul intent. When this soul intent swept over them, they felt a chill run down their backs. They felt as if their entire bodies had been seen through. What a strong soul intent. Olding was stunned. He stopped underestimating this soul intent and became slightly curious. Within the secret chamber, Zhao Feng slowly opened his eyes. The purple whirlpool in his left eye started to calm down before disappearing. A feeling of tiredness also appeared in his left eye. The limit of an emperor intent is infinitely close to that of a sacred lord. The instant his soul intent improved, Zhao Feng sensed the uninvited guests outside the ocean smoke pavilion. Acting so arrogantly in their own territory was a warning from Zhao Feng. Within the living room, how come the ninth prince has the time to come all the way here? Zhao Feng took a sip of tea and asked casually. The ninth prince gave a deep look at Zhao Feng. The shock in his heart hadn't disappeared yet. When Zhao Feng left the divine illusion dimension, he was still at the late-stage Great Origin Core realm. In just half a year, he had reached the late-stage Void God realm. This cultivation speed was extremely shocking. The ninth prince had indeed found the right person. The ninth prince also knew that Zhao Feng's true identity was also a legend. Brother Zhao's cultivation speed is incredible. I've come this time to ask for Brother Zhao's help. The ninth prince's eyes trembled as he went straight to the point. Since he was used to the fake politeness of those in power, Zhao Feng admired the ninth prince's straightforwardness. However, he was more puzzled. The one-eyed elder next to the ninth prince had the strength of a quasi-sacred lord, and it wasn't as simple as it seemed. Furthermore, the prince of the Great Gan Lord dynasty had the Great Gan Imperials and the Imperial Extreme Hall behind him. He was the ruler of the entire Great Gan Lord dynasty. What did he need his help with? I wonder if Brother Zhao has heard of the Crown Prince seal. The ninth prince's expression became solemn. Chapter 907. Let's hear it. Zhao Feng could only think about it when he heard the word Crown Prince, but he didn't know the specifics. The expressions of the other three froze. They were subjects of the Great Gan Lord dynasty, but they didn't know about the Crown Prince seal. Bai Qinyue quickly accepted this. She had interacted with Zhao Feng for a while now and knew that Zhao Feng was a cultivation maniac. Even though he was in the intelligence agency, he didn't pay much attention to the outside world. Olding had been observing Zhao Feng with his single eye ever since he came in. The more he observed, the more shocked he became. It was as if he could see things that others couldn't. If it weren't for the fact that Zhao Feng's reputation was too bad, Olding would have approved of the ninth prince hiring this helper. The symbol of the Great Gan Lord dynasty is the Imperial Seal, and the Imperial Seal used to be the Crown Prince's seal. The ninth prince organized his thoughts and said in a solemn tone. The Imperial Seal was the symbol of the Great Gan Lord dynasty. It was the carrier of the Lord dynasty's providence, and the sacred emperor could enjoy the providence of the Lord dynasty. Every generation of sacred emperors was chosen from the princes and went through a lot of trials and tribulations. The key to deciding the victor was the Crown Prince's seal, which proved who the Crown Prince was. This generation of sacred emperors only has 10 years left. 4 years later, there will be a fight for the position of Crown Prince. Bai Qinyue paused for a moment. Calculating the time, that was indeed the case. She had been busy managing the ocean smoke pavilion and had forgotten about this. The battle for the position of Crown Prince was a grand event in the Great Gan Lord dynasty. Almost all the 2-star and 3-star powers and families would participate. This was an opportunity to reshuffle the cards. In the past, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion was a subordinate force of 9 Darkness Palace and didn't have the right to participate, but it was different now. What does this have to do with me? Zhao Feng yawned and seemed to be distracted. Old Ying's mouth twitched when he saw that Zhao Feng was still like this. The battle for the position of Crown Prince isn't as simple as you think. All the princes will enter another dimension, and each prince has a certain number of spots. They can bring other people in to help them. Zhao Feng, I need your help to fight for the position of Crown Prince. The ninth prince's expression was serious, and his eyes were sincere. Everything that had happened in the divine illusion dimension was deeply engraved in the ninth prince's mind. The purple-haired demonic duo had fought against all the forces with just the two of them, making them feel helpless and fearful. Apart from the Sky Sword Pavilion obtaining a damaged ancient god artifact, the purple-haired demonic duo had gained the most from the ancient mysterious palace. A large part of the reason they were able to survive the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's claws was because of the purple-haired demonic duo. The ninth prince thought about it carefully. The purple-haired demonic duo didn't have a good reputation, and Nan Gongsheng had been infected by the power of the evil god and was being chased by many forces. He could only recruit Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was extremely mysterious, and he had even obtained a support-type substandard god weapon, the Misty Spatial World. He believed that this substandard god artifact would be of great help to him when he fought for the position of Crown Prince. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's battle power couldn't be underestimated. His eye bloodline and state of existence were extremely strong, and now that he had reached the late stages of the Void God realm, he would definitely be even stronger. If he was recruited, he would definitely be an important person. He also knew that the 8th prince didn't get along with Zhao Feng, and the 13th prince even viewed Zhao Feng as an enemy, so he immediately rushed over. Bai Qingyue stood behind Zhao Feng and was filled with excitement and joy. She didn't expect that her master would be personally recruited by a prince. Her master definitely wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. That dimension was the resting place of the Imperials, and it contained countless inheritances and treasures. The weakest treasure was at the level of a quasi-sacred lord. Some people even suspected that there was an inheritance of a demigod expert from the early Imperials. Who knew how many people fought for this spot, throwing away countless precious treasures. Once the 9th prince, whom Zhao Feng was assisting, won, even Zhao Feng would receive a large amount of providence and be protected by heaven and earth. In the future, if the 9th prince took over, Zhao Feng might even be able to join the Imperials and enter the upper echelon of the Grand Imperial Hall. Zhao Feng's force would also rise because of this. With Old Ing and the 9th prince's explanation, Zhao Feng had a basic understanding of the battle to be crown prince. Zhao Feng didn't really want the inheritances in that dimension. These inheritances were left behind by the Imperials, so it would be easier to obtain them with the Imperial bloodline. Furthermore, the Golden Kun sacred lightning body and the 5-elemental wind lightning technique that Zhao Feng had were originally the techniques that demigod Kun Yun cultivated, but they were modified by the Heaven's Legacy race and became top-tier techniques. On the other hand, Zhao Feng didn't want to get involved in the battle between the Imperials, which involved almost all the forces of the Lord dynasty. It wasn't easy for him to obtain the shock and awe, which gave him temporary peace. He needed to put more energy into cultivation and increase his strength. On top of that, he didn't know which prince the Duanmu family was standing behind. Duanmu Qing, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit, and Zhao Yufei all wanted to revive the Duanmu family. Zhao Feng obviously didn't want to stand on the opposite side of the Duanmu family. Sorry, I can't agree, Zhao Feng immediately rejected. The living room instantly became silent. The 9th prince, Old Ing, and Bai Qingyue's mouths opened wide, and they suspected that they had heard wrong. They originally thought that Zhao Feng didn't understand the battle to be crown prince, which was why he was so disinterested. After explaining everything, they were sure that Zhao Feng would agree. However, they didn't expect him to reject them so decisively. Why is that? Does Brother Zhao not like me? Loneliness flashed through the 9th prince's eyes. Amongst the princes, his background was the most ordinary, and the forces that supported him weren't as strong as the other princes. Right now, he hadn't recruited enough people. He had secretly received some news that many princes had recruited extremely terrifying people. Zhao Feng, you don't even want such a chance. Old Ing was impatient and disappointed that Zhao Feng didn't live up to his expectations. He was already against the 9th prince coming all the way here to talk, but he didn't expect Zhao Feng to reject the 9th prince's invitation. Firstly, I'm not interested in the inheritance inside. Secondly, I don't think that you have a high chance of winning. In other words, I'm risking my life to help you, but I won't get anything out of it. Zhao Feng believed that the ninth prince and Olding would try to persuade him if he didn't have any reason to reject them, so Zhao Feng gave 2 reasons to reject them. The ninth prince and Olding didn't fully believe Zhao Feng's words. Why wouldn't anyone want the inheritance of a demigod? The inheritances of experts didn't just include battle techniques and techniques. There were also treasures and weapons that they had collected when they were alive. Although Olding didn't agree with Zhao Feng at the start, he felt extremely uncomfortable that he and the ninth prince had been rejected. Zhao Feng, the benefits of entering the imperial tombs aren't limited to just this. Old Ying's murky eyes suddenly twinkled. The imperial tombs are a broken dimension left behind from the ancient era and are extremely unstable. Even now, those above the level of a sacred king are unable to enter. Therefore, there might be secrets and treasures from the ancient era hidden within. Furthermore, the aura of the ancient era contained within is very helpful for increasing one's state of existence. Many outsiders that have entered the imperial tombs have used this opportunity to break through to the mystic light realm, Olding said as he slowly thought back. Sacred King was the title given to those that had reached the peak stages of the mystic light realm, and they were between demigods and sacred lords. Zhao Feng's expression paused for a moment. A dimension left behind from the ancient era was very attractive to him, and he really wanted to explore it. Olding saw this, and he felt smug. Brother Zhao, if you're willing to help me, I, Zhou Zihang, am willing to promise you 3 things. As long as it's within my power, I'll do it even if I become the crown prince or the sacred emperor. Zhou Zihang's eyes were filled with determination. The expressions of Zhao Feng and Olding changed. It wasn't because of how tempting the ninth prince was, but because they could clearly feel the ninth prince's determination. Ninth prince, you. Olding became impatient. He felt that the ninth prince was being too impulsive. How could he make such a promise so easily? The promise of a prince was small, but it wasn't small when it was the promise of a sacred emperor. Give me some time to think. You guys can go back first. Looking at the ninth prince's determined eyes, Zhao Feng seemed to see himself in Sun Feather City and the Broken Moon clan, and he gave this reply. Okay, there's still 4 years left. I'll leave a spot for Brother Zhao. The ninth prince revealed a joyful expression. Olding shook his head. He didn't think that it was very likely that Zhao Feng would agree. In the inner pavilion after the ninth prince left, by Qingyue, is what Olding said about the dimension true? Is there anything you're hiding? Zhao Feng asked. He didn't know much about this. Master, you might not know this, but Olding used to be an upper echelon member of the Imperial Sky Net, and the ninth prince is from the Imperials. His understanding of the Imperial tombs far surpasses the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's intelligence. I haven't found anything suspicious yet, Bai Qingyue replied honestly. Imperial Sky Net? Zhao Feng was surprised. The Imperial Sky Net was the #1 intelligence organization in the Great Gon Lord dynasty. It had the Imperials and the Grand Imperial Hall behind it, and it had infiltrated almost every corner of the Lord dynasty. However, I suggest that Master participate in the battle to become Crown Prince and assist that prince. It's better for Master to decide for himself. Bai Qingyue said. Zhao Feng was the Grand Elder of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, so she needed Zhao Feng's permission to participate in the battle to become Crown Prince. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight sat in a corner within the misty spatial world and consolidated his cultivation in preparation to become a sacred lord. Master. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight opened his eyes and stood up. I have something for you to do. Please tell me, Master. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight revealed a surprised expression. This was the first time Zhao Feng had given him a mission. Go back to Black Screen Corner and bring your elite subordinates, Zhao Feng said calmly. Okay, I'll go immediately. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight was excited. It looked like Master had already started to plan an assassin organization. This was something he had always wanted to do. After giving the order, Zhao Feng fell into deep thought. Looks like I need to go to the Duanmu family, Zhao Feng murmured. However, the prerequisite for Zhao Feng to leave was that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had to have a sacred lord, or else he wouldn't be at ease. Earth Spirit Hall might have received news that a sacred lord had been killed, so they wouldn't dare to do anything to him for now. Once Zhao Feng went into the continent zone, who knew how long it would take for him to return? It was very likely that Earth Spirit Hall would take action against the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. It all depended on whether or not Old Monster Su could successfully become a sacred lord. Otherwise, he could only wait for Supreme Emperor Dark Knight to become a sacred lord. Gold. Zhao Feng glanced at the purple hair that floated to the side. There were 3 or 4 strands of golden hair that were very eye-catching. Chapter 908. Zhao Feng understood that the god's spiritual eye was about to transform. The time needed for the transformation might be longer than usual, so he had to make some preparations. He couldn't be careless. The transformation of the god's spiritual eye was the awakening of the slumbering origin energy of the god eye. Every time it was awakened, the god eye would become stronger. According to past experiences, this kind of metamorphosis was related to Zhao Feng to a certain extent. It was also very accidental and uncontrollable. Zhao Feng was looking forward to what surprises the god's spiritual eye would bring him. Buzz. Zhao Feng's eye intent suddenly sensed something. Zhao Feng raised his head and looked in a certain direction. His expression was one of shock. Old Monster Su has begun. Waving his arm, Zhao Feng's figure suddenly faded and disappeared in a layer of overlapping silvery shadows. In the next instant, in the air above the 10,000 sacred clan, swish. A layer of silver shadow overlapped in the void, and a purple-haired figure appeared, accompanied by a spatial fluctuation. In the forbidden grounds of the 10,000 sacred clan, a ball of purple and gold light floated in the air and started to twist into a giant purple and gold whirlpool. The souls of all the experts and disciples of the 10,000 sacred clan shook, and the blood and true yuan within their bodies started to churn. If it weren't for the fact that the back mountain was far away from the disciples' residences, just a wisp of his aura would be enough to kill a true spirit realm or small origin core realm disciple. Near the back mountain, Great Emperor Ling Qiong was shocked. She said emotionally, "I hope the Supreme Elder will succeed this time." The 10,000 sacred clan had been in decline for too long. The Grand Elder is already a quasi-sacred lord, and with the addition of the 100 origin sacred honey, he will definitely succeed. The black-robed emperor's eyes twinkled. Wen hu hu. A taboo aura that could suppress all things in the world came from the purple-gold whirlpool, surging in all directions. The wind and clouds howled, constantly changing. Ling Qiong and the black-robed emperor, who were nearby, felt their true yuan and blood essence go out of control. They had difficulty breathing and couldn't gather their magnificent power. Buzz. A beam of holy light suddenly descended from the gigantic purplish-golden whirlpool. The energy in all directions seemed to be attracted by something as it frantically gathered towards the holy light. The holy light slowly descended upon Old Monster Su's body. Buzz. Within Old Monster Su's body, a similar power seemed to resonate and connect with the holy light. The Saint Power Whirlpool is connected. The black-robed Great Emperor was overjoyed. Whoosh! The violet gold whirlpool in the sky seemed to have received some kind of power. It suddenly spun rapidly, and a shocking suction force erupted from it. The heaven-earth yuan qi in a radius of tens of thousands of miles trembled, as if tens of thousands of sects were bowing and gathering. Hoo-hoo! The holy light that connected Old Monster Su to the purple-gold vortex in the sky flashed with mysterious halos. A soul-stirring pure white holy light poured down from the sky like a golden curtain. Under the holy light, Old Monster Su entered a strange state. His body turned translucent, and his soul aura grew weaker as if it had completely merged with his body. The powerful might of heaven and earth shook the entire universe. Zhao Feng, who was in the clouds, opened his god's spiritual eye and observed Old Monster Su's breakthrough. The crystal core within Old Monster Su's body had turned into a whirlpool of light that was absorbing the mystic light sacred power from the purple-golden whirlpool in the sky. The biggest change was in Old Monster Su's physical body. The mystic light sacred power had completely changed his physical body. That is. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye caught a wisp of darkness, and he smiled faintly. A pair of scarlet wings of lightning appeared on his back, and he instantly arrived where Old Monster Su was in seclusion. An expert is coming. The black-robed great emperor was startled, and his magnificent power spread out. No, that's Zhao Feng, Emperor Ling Qiong quickly stopped him. Old Monster Su had told them about the 100 origin sacred honey before. They couldn't believe that Old Monster Su was willing to be Zhao Feng's servant. However, they weren't against it. 100 years wasn't much for Mystic Light Realm's sacred lords, let alone someone who was about to die. Once Old Monster Su became a Mystic Light Realm sacred lord, the 10,000 sacred clan had hope of regaining its former glory as a 3-star power. The two of them were slightly grateful towards Zhao Feng. An expert has come to interfere. Isn't that Zhao Feng? King Lu Yun had a puzzled expression. What does he want to do? King Lu Qiong was slightly worried. The image of Zhao Feng slaughtering the experts of Earth Spirit Hall in the 10,000 sacred clan was still deeply imprinted in their minds. Slaughtering and crushing, unhindered and disdainful. They couldn't stop what Zhao Feng wanted to do. Zhao Feng. Why is he here to stop Grand Elder from breaking through? The black-robed youth was stunned. Zhao Feng, what are you doing? Emperor Ling Qiong asked as she saw Zhao Feng approach Old Monster Su. She didn't believe that Zhao Feng was here to stop Old Monster Su's breakthrough, but Zhao Feng was quickly approaching Old Monster Su. Zhao Feng didn't reply, and a purple light started to spin in his left eye. Not good, I've been discovered. The dark light behind him cursed and disappeared. Lightning wing spatial flash. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's speed increased dramatically, and he turned into a scarlet arc of lightning that flashed through the air. In the next instant his figure appeared 1,000 miles away. Scarlet wings of lightning surrounded him, and the magnificent power of heaven and earth spread out, locking down heaven and earth. Sacred lightning dominating body. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's body grew taller and released a layer of golden blue lightning. He was like a golden tower of lightning that suppressed everything. Boom! A loud explosion sounded in the air. A figure squeezed out from a dark streak of light in front of him. He had a pale and skinny body, dark circles under his eyes, and blood dripped from his mouth. Mental energy spike. A dark purple spike of lightning shot into the skinny male's soul, and the power of God tribulation lightning flashed as it exploded. Arg! The skinny male screamed in despair as his soul trembled. Zhao Feng waved his arm, and the fat cloud silkworm saint butterfly appeared above the male's head. The cloud silkworm saint butterfly quickly flapped its wings, and a layer of half-transparent pollen landed on the male's body and entered his soul. The skinny male's body went numb, and he lost control of his true yuan. Gaze of the God Eye. The purple whirlpool in Zhao Feng's left eye started to spin. A forbidden power covered the area in front of him. Soon, the translucent human-shaped soul began to separate from the withered body. The skinny male's eyes were filled with fear as he tried to struggle. However, the power of God tribulation lightning, the soul attack, and the dream pollen were still there, so he couldn't resist at all. Whoosh! The skinny male's soul was taken into the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Zhao Feng's soul intent was now extremely close to a sacred lord, and his soul attacks were comparable to a sacred lord's. His sacred lightning body had reached the peak 5th level, and even emperors with a low state of existence would be suppressed. The existence of the god's spiritual eye completely countered assassin-type experts, and their escape techniques were unable to escape. The skinny male was an unrivaled emperor, but he wasn't even able to last for a moment against Zhao Feng's full strength. All of this happened in less than 5 breaths. An unrivaled emperor was killed in just 5 breaths. Emperor Ling Qiong and the black-robed male stood on the side with dazed expressions. Zhao Feng had only left the 10,000 sacred clan for a short period of time, but he had already grown to such a level. After the shock, they both felt lucky. They had been standing guard for old Monster Su. However, there had been a powerful assassin hiding not far from old Monster Su, and they had not noticed him at all. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhao Feng was here, old Monster Su would have died when he tried to break through to the mystic light realm. The 2 emperors immediately arrived, and Emperor Ling Qiong said with a faint smile, "Thank you, Zhao Feng." The black-robed emperor revealed an apologetic expression. He had almost stopped Zhao Feng just then. "I obviously won't ignore the safety of my servant," Zhao Feng said as he inspected old Monster Su. The 2 were speechless. Although this was the truth, they still felt uncomfortable when they heard someone call a grand elder of the 10,000 sacred clan a servant. At this moment, the purple and golden whirlpool above the clouds started to slow down. All of the holy power that was as pure as ribbons of light was completely infused into old Monster Su's body. Old Monster Su's body started to glow with a sacred light, and he seemed like a god. The phenomena started to disappear. Old Monster Su suddenly opened his eyes after a while. Wing boom! A majestic aura swept out in all directions like a storm. The existence of this aura ruled over everything in the world, and it caused everything in the air to tremble. Zhao Feng and company instantly felt their true yuan, bloodline, soul, intent, and other powers become suppressed. Everything within 1,000 miles came to a standstill. Countless creatures felt suffocated, not even daring to breathe loudly. Every action of a mystic light realm's sacred lord contained the laws of heaven and earth and their comprehension of the origin. Ling Qiong and the black-robed emperor were almost injured due to being caught off guard. Old Monster Su. Zhao Feng broke the silence and walked forward. Old Monster Su had just become a sacred lord, and he was much weaker than the 9 darkness demonic lord. Now that Zhao Feng's cultivation had increased, and his sacred lightning body had reached the peak 5th level, he had a strong resistance against the magnificent power of sacred lords. Old Monster Su slowly withdrew his aura and smiled. "Zhao Feng, this old man will remember your kindness." He had been stuck at the level of an emperor for several thousand years, and his dream was to become a mystic light realm sacred lord. All of this was because of Zhao Feng's arrival. Just now, Zhao Feng had saved his life once more. Although he was focused on breaking through to the mystic light realm, he could still sense what was happening in the outside world. "Come with me first." Zhao Feng was slightly tired as he placed one hand on old Monster Su's shoulder and disappeared into the air with a flash of silver. A disturbance in space. Zhao Feng and old Monster Su appeared above the ocean smoke pavilion. This was the first time they had used spatial travel with a sacred lord, and the amount of energy they expended was more than 10 times greater than before. "Within the meeting hall, now that you've broken through to the mystic light realm, we'll start doing what we talked about last time in the 10,000 sacred clan. You can discuss the specifics with Bai Qingyue," Zhao Feng said slowly as he became more tired. Zhao Feng then told them his plan. First, he wanted to dominate the coastal area. The specifics still needed to be discussed. After Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned, they would start to expand their forces. In the future, listen to Bai Qingyue's orders. Zhao Feng waved his hand, and a skinny male appeared. "Understood, Master." The skinny male stood behind Bai Qingyue. Bai Qingyue's heart shook. Zhao Feng had managed to enslave an unrivaled emperor in just one trip, and he even gave her orders. She couldn't help but feel warmth in her heart. He's an assassin hired by Earth Spirit Hall. Old Monster Su, don't do anything rash. Also, stay in the ocean smoke pavilion while I'm in seclusion, Zhao Feng said. Understood, master. Old Monster Su's expression changed slightly. He understood that if Xiao Feng's initial goal was to dominate the coastal area, then Earth Spirit Hall wouldn't exist. Zhao Feng felt that he couldn't open his left eye after giving the order. He entered the secret room and activated the restrictions before falling asleep. Chapter 909. Meow Meow. The little thieving cat jumped out of the misty spatial world and sat on Zhao Feng's shoulder, then sighed and shook its head. It seemed to be saying that its unreliable master had fallen asleep again. Ever since Zhao Feng had traded the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly with Duke Nan Feng, the little thieving cat wasn't as bored in the misty spatial world. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had even become the little thieving cat's lackey and listened to everything it said. Now that Zhao Feng had fallen asleep, it couldn't bring its lackey, so it had to protect Zhao Feng. It was also responsible for raising all sorts of treasures and the 5 poison distinct bees. The little thieving cat felt a lot of pressure. Ding! Ding! The little thieving cat threw out a bronze coin, and it landed on its paws with a crisp jingle. The little thieving cat went crazy when it saw it, and its black eyes were filled with helplessness. Meow meow. The little thieving cat meowed at Zhao Feng, as if it was saying that he would make it up to him after he woke up. You're the assassin ranked 32nd in black screen corner, Emperor Withered Shadow. Old Monster Su's heart shook when he found out who the skinny male was. He didn't expect Earth Spirit Hall to hire such a powerful assassin to stop him from breaking through to the mystic light realm. Furthermore, Emperor Withered Shadow had been hiding when he broke through to the mystic light realm last time. However, after realizing that Old Monster Su was destined to fail, he didn't do anything. Thinking up to there, Old Monster Su felt lucky that his luck was good. Earth Spirit Hall, I will take revenge. Hatred flashed through Old Monster Su's eyes. Zhao Feng's goal was to dominate the coastline, so he obviously wouldn't let Earth Spirit Hall go. Now that Old Monster Su had broken through to the mystic light realm, the 10,000 Sacred Clan regained its glory as a 3-star power. Old Monster Su followed Zhao Feng's orders and spent most of his time in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. He needed time to familiarize himself with the power of a mystic light. He left the management of the 10,000 Sacred Clan to the other 2 emperors. Everyone could feel the change in the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Only some of the more experienced upper echelon members knew the true reason, and they couldn't do anything about it. The disciples of the 10,000 Sacred Clan felt that the 10,000 Sacred Clan and the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were working together, and the 10,000 Sacred Clan would return to its former glory. A surge of hot blood reverberated in the chests of these young disciples. Meanwhile, in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Now that Bai Qingyue had a top-tier assassin protecting her, she became much bolder and more decisive, allowing the Ocean Smoke Pavilion to develop quickly. With Zhao Feng's support and the help of the 10,000 Sacred Clan's members, Zhao Feng's strength had increased significantly. In just half a year, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's foundation wasn't any weaker than a 3-star power, but they didn't have a Sacred Lord. After another half a year, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned with a team of elite subordinates from Black Screen Corner. Among them, there were 2 great emperors, 8 kings, and the rest were great origin core or half-step kings. They were all experts in intelligence gathering and assassination. Overall, it was a rather powerful elite team. Thus, the assassination organization was established. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight was temporarily in charge of the island region next to the Misty Moon Island region. Emperor Withered Shadow, why are you here? Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and was surprised to run into an acquaintance. They were both top-tier assassins of Black Screen Corner, and their rankings weren't far apart. They obviously interacted with each other and often exchanged information. Emperor Withered Shadow was also surprised, and he immediately said, "Master gave me a chance to change. I didn't expect you to stop Duke Nanfeng from breaking through and never return. So, you became Master's servant. Hehe, Master can fulfill my ambitions. If we work together, we'll create an assassination organization that's only weaker than Black Screen Corner, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight said with ambition. I don't care about that. I only like to assassinate. Emperor Withered Shadow revealed a cold and murderous expression. Within the core secret hall of the Earth Spirit Hall in the Island Zone, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion has teamed up with the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Furthermore, the intelligence agents of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion have been very active in the coastal areas recently. They don't put Earth Spirit Hall in their eyes at all. Most of the roars came from domain-level kings, and some were even peak-tier kings and emperors. An elder in dark blue robes floated in the air. He was covered in a mystic light, and his eyes were closed. Reporting to Grand Elder, Zhao Feng killed 2 emperors and 16 Void God Realm Kings of Earth Spirit Hall. If it wasn't for the fact that Duke Nanfeng stopped him, even I wouldn't have been able to return, the golden-robed Emperor Zhang Xiandong said in embarrassment. Now that Zhao Feng's force has teamed up with the 10,000 Sacred Clan, which just became a 3-star power, they definitely want to fight back against Earth Spirit Hall. Grand Elder, please make the decision. The elder floating in the air suddenly opened his eyes. He didn't expect something like this to happen right after he came out of seclusion. A group of Void God Realm experts from Earth Spirit Hall had been slaughtered by a junior. If this spread, what face would Earth Spirit Hall have left? If the 10,000 Sacred Clan wanted to rise, did they ask Earth Spirit Hall for permission? An invisible magnificent power caused the entire dimension to tremble. The secret hall was deathly silent. Many domain-level kings felt their blood freeze, and they found it hard to breathe. Humph, Earth Spirit Hall is the true ruler of this area, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter snickered coldly, and the invisible pressure made the hearts of all the experts shake. The elders of Earth Spirit Hall were originally planning to send an even stronger group of unrivaled emperors to kill Zhao Feng. However, they heard that old monster Su had become a sacred lord and was personally guarding the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. They could only give up and wait for Sacred Lord Sky Splitter to come out of seclusion. Now that Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was so angry, they knew that the elders would personally take action. Reporting to Grand Elder, Zhao Feng from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion has been in seclusion for a year, but old monster Su, who has become a sacred lord, is guarding the place, a peak emperor below warned. Furthermore, Zhao Feng and Duke Nanfeng have always been close, and Duke Nanfeng has become a sacred lord as well. Duke Nanfeng has become a sacred lord? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's expression changed. If it was just old monster Su who had just broken through, he wouldn't put him in his eyes, but Duke Nanfeng was an Imperials and had become a sacred lord. If he came to protect Zhao Feng, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter wouldn't be able to do anything. However, Zhao Feng had killed 2 emperors and dozens of kings from Earth Spirit Hall. If Zhao Feng was let go, how would Earth Spirit Hall continue to dominate the area? He also heard that Zhao Feng had benefited the most from the Divine Illusion Dimension, and he had obtained substandard god weapons, the God-slaying arrow, and the misty spatial world. Zhao Feng, I will personally take action if he kills someone from Earth Spirit Hall, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter said in a serious tone. After saying that, he disappeared into the dark secret hall. The elders within the secret hall were excited. Some of them had survived Zhao Feng's massacre. I must talk to Duke Nanfeng, but before that. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter turned into a ball of light and flew into the limitless ocean. 3 months later, in a ghost fog forest, an old voice sounded in Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's soul before he even arrived. What are you doing here instead of guarding Earth Spirit Hall? Old ghost, of course I have something good to tell you, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter said with a smile as he floated into the depths of the ghost fog forest. In a dark and strange forest, there was a simple and crude wooden house. A stream flowed through it, but there was not a single living being within a radius of 10,000 miles. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush, an elder that looked like a withered tree said slowly. It's been a few hundred years, but you're still the same. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter revealed a faint smile. He understood Old Ghost's personality, so he told him the purpose of his visit. He didn't have much confidence in negotiating with Duke Nanfeng alone, especially now that Duke Nanfeng had broken through to the mystic light realm. If Old Ghost was here, he believed that Duke Nanfeng wouldn't offend two sacred lords and the forces behind them for a junior. He could also destroy the 10,000 sacred clan. In the coastal region, only one 3-star sect was needed. Old Ghost had a weird expression as his eyes twinkled as he stared at Sacred Lord Sky Splitter. Negotiate with Duke Nanfeng, kill a sacred lord from the 10,000 sacred clan, and capture a void god realm junior? Ha ha ha, nothing escapes your eyes. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter spread his hands and laughed. There's no need for a mystic light realm sacred lord to take action against a normal void god realm junior. That junior is Zhao Feng, right? Old Ghost laughed coldly. After the divine illusion dimension ended, a lot of news still entered his ears. After all, the divine illusion dimension this time was different from the past. That's right. The two of us should go and negotiate with Duke Nanfeng first. I'm sure that he'll give us some face, and then we'll kill old Monster Su, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter suggested with a grim expression. Old Ghost's eyes spun as he revealed a deadly expression. I only want half of what's on Zhao Feng. Far away in the center of the continent zone, in the royal family of the Great Gan dynasty, the majestic buildings were enveloped in the vast fortune of the dynasty. In the luxurious and magnificent hall, the 13th prince had an excited expression. Mother, is this true? Why would I lie to you? Your father is already engaged to the grand elder of the Duanmu family. In front of the 13th prince was a peerless female wearing a gold and silver robe and a golden crown. She had a doting smile on her face. A majestic middle-aged male next to her walked over. Chen, this is all because of your mother. She mentioned your love for Zhao Yufei many times in front of the sacred emperor. Thank you, mother. Zhou Chen was overjoyed. He could even imagine his beloved Zhao Yufei shyly jumping into his embrace. Also, because of this, many other forces have joined our faction and supported Chen, the majestic male's eyes twinkled. Zhou Chen knew what his uncle was implying. Chen, will not disappoint mother and uncle's high hopes. I am 90% confident that I will be able to become the crown prince. Even fourth brother might not be my match. Zhou Chen's eyes were spirited as he said confidently. Ha ha ha, it looks like Chen has secretly recruited a powerful helper. The majestic male's expression changed, and then he laughed. The fourth prince was the oldest prince and one of the most popular candidates for the crown prince position. His talent was shocking, and he had been preparing for the crown prince position for almost 100 years. Since Zhou Chen dared to say something like this, it meant that he was very confident. At the same time, in another prince's palace in the Lord dynasty, a young man in a golden robe with an extraordinary bearing was pacing back and forth. Damn it, Imperial Father actually dotes on Zhou Chen so much that he even arranged a marriage with the Duanmu clan. Isn't this clearly telling the Duanmu clan to stand behind Zhou Chen? The young man's eyes were like lightning as he loudly roared. Seventh Prince, please calm down. This is something that can't be helped. The current Divine Empress is the 13th Prince's mother, a man in white scholarly robes with a jade-white face said softly in front of the 7th Prince. However, this is only giving the 13th Prince a higher starting point. The Crown Prince battle isn't about who has more supporters. Chapter 9-10 Tianfeng Great Island Zone. 2 figures, one white and one black, surrounded by sacred power, flew through the air and soon arrived at the Duke's palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost floated in the clouds above the Duke's palace and released 2 terrifying auras. Who in an instant, countless beings within several thousand miles of the Duke's palace felt suffocated and froze. Duke Nanfeng isn't here. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter scanned with his divine sense and revealed a surprised expression. Two sacred lords have come to the Duke's palace. I'm the captain of the guards. How can I help you? A peaked-tier king in golden robes from the guards of the Duke's palace slowly flew up against the pressure from the two sacred lords. This male was extremely uneasy. He had never seen two sacred lords come to the Duke's palace ever since he joined the guards. Only one sacred lord of the demonic Tao had come a while ago. He didn't know what was going on, but experts at the Emperor realm and above kept coming to the Duke's palace. Where did Duke Nanfeng go? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was surrounded by a sacred light, and he was like a god looking down on the world as he spoke. The general in golden robes felt an invisible pressure that made it hard for him to breathe and make him lose consciousness. Duke Nanfeng went to the inner regions of the Lord dynasty several days ago. The two sacred lords looked at each other. They were first surprised, but then they revealed a wicked smile. Duke Nanfeng wasn't here. This meant that the two of them didn't feel any pressure at all. Duke Nanfeng wouldn't do anything to them after Zhao Feng died. At the same time, regret flashed through Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's eyes. If Duke Nanfeng had left earlier, he wouldn't have gone to find Old Ghost. Now that everything was much easier, he would have to give away half of Zhao Feng's treasures. After the two sacred lords left, the general in golden robes took a deep breath and returned to the Duke's palace. On the way back, Old Ghost suddenly thought of something and asked, I remember that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion is a subordinate force of Nine Darkness Palace. Why didn't Nine Darkness Palace do anything when Zhao Feng swallowed the Ocean Smoke Pavilion? Nine Darkness Palace used to be a 4-star power. Although it had declined, it was still a peak 3-star power and was one of the leading forces of the demonic Tao. Even if he had more guts, Old Ghost wouldn't dare to have any thoughts about the Nine Nether Palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter had just come out of seclusion, so he didn't know much, but he still acted like he didn't need to worry. Nine Darkness Palace is in the depths of the continent and can't do anything to the ocean. Furthermore, I heard that Nine Darkness Palace's eyes are all on Nan Gongsheng, who has the power of the evil god. Old Ghost couldn't help but be surprised when Nan Gongsheng was mentioned. Unbelievable. Nan Gongsheng was able to inherit the power of a god. Old Ghost sighed in his heart. He had broken through to the mystic light realm 10,000 years ago, but he was still stuck at the early stages of the mystic light realm. But an ordinary King Realm Jr. was able to obtain the power of a divine throne. What a lucky chance. If he could comprehend a wisp of divine power, he would probably be able to break through to the middle stages of the mystic light realm immediately. So what if you have the power of God? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter snickered coldly and felt a bit annoyed. However, when he thought of the benefits that Zhao Feng had, he became excited. There were many resources, legendary ores, and 2 substandard god weapons within the ancient mysterious palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's eyes spun as he said, Old Ghost, you deal with Old Monster Su while I control Zhao Feng. We can't give him the chance to use the misty spatial world. Okay, Old Ghost agreed on the surface, but he knew what Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was thinking. The misty spatial world was a support-type item that didn't have high requirements for the user. As long as one obtained it, they could use it. If Zhao Feng used the misty spatial world to escape, they wouldn't be able to catch up. However, the god-slaying arrow was different. A measly king wouldn't be able to use it. Even initial-stage Mystic Light Realm kings could only use half of the power of a substandard god weapon. Several months later, in the Misty Moon Island zone, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion was much bigger than before, and there was an endless stream of members. Bai Qingyue would spend a lot of time in the information hall every day and read the latest news. The earlier the information was known, the more valuable it was. This was the slogan of almost all the intelligence agencies. A limitless magnificent power suddenly covered the entire Water Bay sacred land. This power seemed to change heaven and earth and make everything bow down to it. All the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt like they were suffocating from this power. Those whose cultivation wasn't even a king spat out a mouthful of blood. Old Devil Sue's expression was one of shock as he immediately charged out. He looked at the black and white balls of light in the distance, and his expression was one of shock. 2 sacred lords. One of them was Sacred Lord Sky Splitter from Earth Spirit Hall, and the other Sacred Lord's aura was extremely weird. His aura was even stronger than Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's. Old Monster Sue revealed a bitter smile. He didn't think that his first battle after breaking through to the mystic light realm would be like this. Bai Qingyue took a deep breath and quickly came out with the other 2 emperors of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Their hearts dropped when they saw the image of the sun and moon in the sky. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's divine sense spread out and found where Zhao Feng was. Wasn't Zhao Feng in seclusion? Why was he sleeping? At the same time, Old Ghost also sensed Zhao Feng, who was still sleeping. Humph, I can feel a powerful surge of power awakening in his left eye, Old Ghost snickered coldly and messaged. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter gave a wicked smile. Then we'll make sure he never wakes up. Old Monster Sue slowly floated into the air and blocked the aura of a Sacred Lord for the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter, you're a Sacred Lord, but you're attacking a junior? Humph, those who want to achieve great things don't care about the small things. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter didn't bother talking to Old Monster Sue. He circulated the mystic light sacred power within his body and was about to attack. Old Ghost looked down at everyone on the side. There was no need for him to do anything. However, Old Ghost's expression suddenly changed, and he immediately turned around. Whoosh! A ball of green light shot over like a meteor, and its aura clashed with them. The expressions of Old Ghost and Sacred Lord Sky Splitter changed slightly as they felt the enmity from the other party. At the same time, all the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were stunned. The auras of the 3 Sacred Lords made them feel as if heaven and earth was about to shatter. At this moment, 3 Sacred Lords had descended upon the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. All the members fell into despair. Even a normal 3-star power wouldn't be able to fight back against 3 Sacred Lords. A male with snow-white hair and starry eyes walked out from the green light. His appearance could be said to be perfect. With a sweep of his spiritual sense, he cast a profound gaze toward the place where Zhao Feng was sleeping. Old Su and Bai Qingyue looked at each other. They felt that this Sacred Lord didn't seem to be an enemy. Maybe they still had hope. I am Sacred Lord Sky Splitter from Earth Spirit Hall. Who are you? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter stood next to Old Ghost and asked. The aura of this Sacred Lord in front of him was not simple. However, even if this Sacred Lord was here to help the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, he wasn't scared. After all, this person seemed to be a wood elemental Sacred Lord and didn't specialize in fighting. Duanmu Qing of the Duanmu family, one of the 8 big families, the white-haired male said. He wasn't scared of the auras of 2 emperors at all. 8 big families? The expressions of Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost paused, and their auras instantly weakened. The 8 big families were ancient families of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. They were extremely influential and had countless connections with the Lord dynasty. Even the Duanmu family, which was ranked at the bottom, wasn't something a 3-star power could be compared to. On top of that, this was the Earth Spirit Hall of a normal 3-star power. Old Monster Su and Bai Qingyue were even more shocked. They didn't expect this Sacred Lord to be from one of the 8 big families. Could their master be related to the 8 big families? May I know why Sacred Lord Duanmu is here? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter asked with a faint smile. If the other party was a Sacred Lord of the Duanmu family and wanted the benefits from Zhao Feng, then there was still room for negotiation. Old Ghost's expression became grim, but there was nothing he could do. I'm just here to find my disciple. Duanmu Qing looked at the 2 as his white hair blew in the wind. Disciple. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter paused for a moment. From the moment Duanmu Qing arrived until now, he realized that Duanmu Qing's divine sense had been observing Zhao Feng. Therefore, he thought that Duanmu Qing also wanted the benefits from Zhao Feng. He didn't expect Duanmu Qing to be here to find his disciple. Disciple? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's mouth twitched, and he was speechless. Could Zhao Feng be the disciple of a sacred lord from the Duanmu family? How was that possible? How did Zhao Feng have a relationship with the Duanmu family? Why didn't the people from Earth Spirit Hall tell him about such important news? If they attacked Zhao Feng, they would be offending the Duanmu family. That's right. My disciple's name is Zhao Feng, Duanmu Qing said confidently as he arrived next to Old Monster Su and looked at Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost. Old Monster Su was overjoyed. He didn't expect his master to have a relationship with the Duanmu family. Bai Qingyue let out a breath and became even more respectful towards her master. Many of the people below who were still conscious were shocked awake, and their expressions were filled with excitement. Grand Elder, it's someone from the Duanmu family. That's one of the 8 big families of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. The Duanmu family has sent a sacred lord to save us. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost had ugly expressions as they stood there in a daze. If they were to fight, they would definitely have the advantage. However, they couldn't do anything, they didn't dare to do anything. We're just passing by. We won't disturb you any longer. Farewell, Sacred Lord Duanmu. The 2 sacred lords looked at each other and sighed helplessly. In the end, they gave up and prepared to leave. At this moment, Zhao Feng's head turned to the side, and his golden hair floated in the air. An invisible golden ripple spread out in all directions, permeating the void and extending endlessly. This golden ripple didn't seem to be true yuan or soul intent. It passed through the bodies of everyone present. All the experts trembled slightly, and their hearts were filled with shock and doubt. The instant the golden ripples swept past them, they felt as if all of their secrets had been exposed, and they were holding nothing back. The 2 sacred lords looked deeply at where Zhao Feng was in seclusion and quickly left. Everyone from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion let out a breath and were overjoyed. Duanmu Qing slowly descended and said, after this evolution, Zhao Feng's god eye will become even stronger. Chapter 9:11. Duanmu Qing slowly descended and looked at the secret hall where Zhao Feng was sleeping. He said in a gratified tone, after this transformation, Zhao Feng's god eye will become even stronger. Back at the Mystic True Sacred Clan, Duanmu Qing had personally witnessed how strong Zhao Feng's left eye became after it evolved. Even Zhao Yufei, who had the power of her little world and the help of the Purple Saint Partial Spirit, couldn't fight back against his eye bloodline and soul techniques. However, the energy fluctuation that Zhao Feng unintentionally released earlier did not seem like a soul. However, it penetrated through matter and did not contain any laws or profundities. Duanmu Qing could not figure it out. Last time, when Zhao Feng's god eye evolved, his soul intent strengthened. I wonder what will happen this time. Duanmu Qing smiled warmly, full of anticipation. Sacred Lord Duanmu, please come in. Bai Qingyue quickly went forward and didn't dare to be careless. This sacred lord was a member of the Duanmu family and master's master. He even saved the Ocean Smoke Pavilion in the nick of time. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and the other sacred lord were forced to leave. Although they were both sacred lords, Old Monster Su could only follow behind Duanmu Qing. Sacred Lord Duanmu, your disciple is still in seclusion, Bai Qingyue said with an apologetic smile. How long has he been asleep? Duanmu Qing asked. Almost a year and a half. Bai Qingyue replied honestly. Duanmu Qing was slightly stunned. He did not expect Zhao Feng to be asleep for so long already. The last time he was asleep was only a few months ago. I will wait here for Zhao Feng to wake up. After that, Duanmu Qing moved in. All the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt that their future was bright. Now that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had formed a relationship with the 8 great clans, there wouldn't be any power that could hinder the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's development in this region. A surge of hot blood burned in the chests of these young disciples. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost were enraged after leaving. Wherever they went, storms started to appear, and it was as if heaven and earth were about to shatter. "You old bastard, in the future, before you do anything, you must first investigate thoroughly." Old Ghost's eyes were cold, and a sinister aura spread out as he left angrily. After all, he lived alone in seclusion. On the other hand, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was in his own clan and had his own intelligence agency, but he was still so clueless. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was enraged after returning to Earth Spirit Hall, and the entire Earth Spirit Hall started to panic. Most people didn't know why the Grand Elder was so angry. "Emperor Lightspeed, go and find out everything about Zhao Feng." Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's battle power rose into the air as he spoke with anger. Below, a young martial monarch knelt on the ground, trembling. Under the Sacred Master's rage, he felt as if a thunderstorm was exploding all around him, and he was already half a step into the gates of hell. "Yes, Grand Elder, I will definitely find out everything about Zhao Feng," Lightburst Monarch said in a trembling voice. 3 months later, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter received a report, and his heart shook when he scanned it with his divine sense. After Zhang Xiandong of the Earth Spirit Hall left, the Emperor of the Tai family actually came to the 10,000 Sacred Clan. He has the bloodline of the Tai family. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's heart shook. The 8 great clans again. The strength of the Tai family was at the peak of the 8 great families, and it was comparable to a peak 3-star power. The 9 Darkness demonic lord of 9 Darkness Palace came to the Duke's palace and took Zhao Feng away. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's expression turned from surprise to shock. A Sacred Lord of 9 Darkness Palace had come to the edge of the island zone, but they only found out about such important information now. This intelligence agency was a bunch of trash. That wasn't even the main point. There were signs of a battle between the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord and Zhao Feng. In the end, Zhao Feng returned, and the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord disappeared. The floating piece of information turned into dust. Time slowly passed. Duanmu Qing lived in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, which wasn't far from where Zhao Feng was in seclusion. He would use his divine sense to check on Zhao Feng's situation every once in a while. Zhao Feng's body would move every once in a while, even though he was in deep sleep. His faint golden hair was like sacred light, and it gave off an ethereal and otherworldly feeling. Within the dimension of his left eye, Zhao Feng already had a faint consciousness, and he witnessed everything that was happening. At first, a wisp of golden light appeared in the depths of the blue lake, and it made the surface of the lake sparkle. Then, a wisp of faint golden light scattered from it. This faint golden light that suddenly appeared wasn't I intent. Zhao Feng observed it for a long time, but he couldn't tell where it came from. As this light shone on it, a portion of the purple mist above the blue lake started to fade. Although it was very small and weak, Zhao Feng could still feel it. The elements of wind and lightning within the mist started to decrease as well. At first, Zhao Feng was shocked. Could it be that the mutation of his god eye had decreased the strength of his soul intent? However, as the faint golden light turned from one wisp to 2, and then to 1. More and more of the purple mist disappeared, but he felt that his soul intent wasn't weakened at all. Where did the purple sea of mist go? Zhao Feng could only wait. More and more faint golden light appeared on the surface of the lake, and it formed a complete ray of light that shone on the purple mist. The power of the god Tribulation Lightning is disappearing, Zhao Feng couldn't help but exclaim. After all, the purple mist was a product of the mutation of his god, so he could accept it disappearing. However, the disappearance of the power of the god Tribulation Lightning made Zhao Feng unable to remain calm. The power of the god Tribulation Lightning countered everything, but it was disappearing as well. The power of the god Tribulation Lightning had always been his trump card, and it had been used in countless dangerous battles. Zhao Feng still hoped that it could help him resist the god Tribulation Lightning in the future. As time passed, the Purple Soul Sea and the power of the god Tribulation Lightning started to disappear. Wait, my soul intent hasn't weakened. Instead, it's a little different. Zhao Feng suddenly realized that something was wrong. His consciousness started to become clearer as the god eye mutated. At the start, Zhao Feng could only observe it, but now he could sense it in detail. 20% of the Purple Soul Sea had disappeared, but his soul intent hadn't weakened at all. On the contrary, it had become slightly stronger, but it was very weak. If it wasn't for the weird feeling coming from his soul, Zhao Feng wouldn't have realized this. As he looked at the golden light in the lake become brighter and brighter, he felt as if something was about to float out. On a certain day, the golden light suddenly became stronger, and Zhao Feng could see a ball of twisting light at the bottom of the lake. Duanmu Qing's divine sense was constantly inspecting Zhao Feng in the ocean smoke pavilion. At this moment, no one would be able to take their eyes off Zhao Feng. His faint golden hair radiated a faint golden light that would make even sacred lords surprised. Even the mysterious little thieving cat wasn't able to escape. As this light seeped into its body, it felt uncomfortable and entered the misty spatial world. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng's god eye is about to awaken its true power. Duanmu Qing couldn't help but sigh. Otherwise, Zhao Feng wouldn't have slept for so long. Within the dimension of his left eye, Zhao Feng's consciousness was dazed as he stared at the golden ball on the surface of the blue lake. It was limitless and transparent, like the golden sun in the dimension of his left eye. It radiated an ancient aura that didn't change, but it gave Zhao Feng a familiar feeling. The golden ball was smooth and gave off a faint golden light that could pierce through everything. It passed through the ocean of mist and landed at the bottom of the blue lake. The purple mist above the lake started to disappear at a speed several times faster than before. A whirlpool suddenly formed on the surface of the blue lake above the golden ball. Whoosh! The blue lake flowed along the whirlpool, and streams of water continuously seeped into the golden ball and disappeared. A numbing pain suddenly swept through his soul, and Zhao Feng groaned. My soul. Zhao Feng focused all his senses on his soul and was stunned. He found that his soul was becoming more and more condensed. Occasionally, a bolt of lightning would flash across it. However, Zhao Feng could immediately tell that it wasn't normal lightning, it was God Tribulation Lightning. Could it be that the purple mist and the power of God Tribulation Lightning merged into my soul? Zhao Feng couldn't calm down. Although the Purple Soul Sea originally came from the Blue Lake, the power of God Tribulation Lightning merged into his soul. However, the power of God Tribulation Lightning merged into his soul. Zhao Feng could only say that it was unbelievable. He suddenly remembered that there was similar information in his memories. Apart from bloodlines and bodies, there was also a very rare soul body. Its rarity wasn't any lower than the bloodlines of the 10,000 ancient races. Because this kind of soul body was extremely rare and couldn't be researched, there were both good and bad cases. Some people even thought of it as a disease of the soul, so it wasn't widely known. A soul body was something that one was born with. Zhao Feng wasn't sure if his soul was a special soul body. Since he didn't know, Zhao Feng didn't want to think about it. At the very least, he knew that the Purple Soul Sea and the power of God Tribulation Lightning hadn't disappeared. However, Zhao Feng couldn't find the Wind Eye. After an unknown amount of time, the Purple Soul Sea completely disappeared. Only the Golden Ball and the Blue Lake remained in the dimension of his left eye. The size of the lake had shrunk to 500 yards, and it was completely absorbed by the Golden Ball. 400 yards, 300 yards, 100 yards. The blue lake had completely disappeared. It was completely absorbed by the golden ball. The size of the golden ball didn't change at all. When the mysterious golden ball instantly released a golden ripple that passed through everything. It even passed through this dimension and extended into the outside world. Zhao Feng knew that the evolution was almost over. However, he didn't know what kind of secrets this golden ball had. What did the evolution of the God Eye bring him? Within a quiet cave in the inner regions of the Great Gone Lord dynasty, a girl in white was currently painting with her eyes closed. She seemed to be hit by a strong force, and her eyes suddenly opened as blood leaked out of the corner of her mouth. This was a pair of eyes that had no pupils, and they seemed to be able to see through everything. Master was right. It really is the ninth God's eye. The girl lowered her head and looked at the painting in her hand. It was of an extremely handsome male with golden hair and golden eyes. His gaze was like amber, and it seemed to be able to see through everything and know all secrets. It was a quiet and secluded sea of green bamboo. An old man was playing chess with an ethereal and tranquil young girl. The elder seemed to be thinking, but he didn't know what to do next. Suddenly, his eyes became dim, as if he had fallen into the cycle of reincarnation in hell. A black line slowly spun in his eyes. Disciple, let's stop here for today. The elder's eyes returned to normal. Master, you will never be my opponent in chess. Hee hee. The young girl smiled calmly. Her beautiful face seemed to cause the hearts of the entire sea of bamboo to sway. Chapter 9:12. Duan Muqing, who was in seclusion, immediately opened his eyes. He had been pierced by the mysterious ripple again just now. This time, the feeling was even stronger. It was as if everything within his body was being controlled by the mysterious power. Duan Muqing's divine sense scanned toward where Zhao Feng was in seclusion. The light from Zhao Feng's faint golden hair started to fade. The mysterious power also disappeared in an instant. Zhao Feng should be waking up soon. Sigh. Duan Muqing was overjoyed, but when he thought about his goal, he sighed with a complicated expression. Within the dimension of his left eye there was only a mysterious golden ball that radiated a faint golden ripple. The golden ripple didn't light up the pitch-black dimension too much. Instead, it pierced through the darkness and shone toward an unknown place. The golden ripple radiating from the golden ball slowly calmed down. The pitch-black dimension became calm again. Zhao Feng could slowly sense what was happening outside, and he could move his body. Zhao Feng slowly stood up, but he found that he couldn't open his left eye. So heavy. Zhao Feng tried his best to open his left eye. When the golden ball floating within the dimension of his left eye released a faint golden ripple. Open. The instant his left eye opened, an invisible ripple spread out and covered everything within sight. Zhao Feng was instantly dazed, and his body froze. What's going on? Was this still the world he was in? As far as the eye could see, everything turned from ordinary matter into translucent golden surfaces, lines, and dots. Zhao Feng looked at a certain spot on the wall in front of him. This area rapidly enlarged, turning into countless particles that were densely packed and arranged in an incomparably orderly manner. Zhao Feng's gaze landed on one of the particles. This particle enlarged once again and turned into billions of particles. This is. Zhao Feng took in a deep breath. He could clearly see the countless particles intertwining with each other in a complex pattern, ultimately forming this wall. Sii. Zhao Feng's expression was filled with shock as he thought of a possibility. He suddenly circulated his sacred lightning body and raised his right hand to inspect it. Who? In his vision, his right hand had turned into a faint golden transparent palm. Spiritual energy revolved around it, and lightning patterns covered it. Zhao Feng stared at one of the lightning patterns. His field of vision instantly enlarged. He saw countless tiny lightning bolts fusing with each other and connecting with countless wisps of true yuan on his skin. His left eye focused once more on one of the small bolts of lightning. Zoom in. Zhao Feng watched in disbelief as the densely packed particles attached to each other and formed all kinds of structures. These particles formed a structure that eventually formed a tiny lightning bolt. A large amount of information instantly appeared and was stored by the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. Zhao Feng felt a swelling pain in his left eye, so he closed it to calm his mind. This ability seems to allow me to see through the basic structure of any object. After a long time, Zhao Feng came to a conclusion and was shocked. His left eye could even analyze the particles that made up the lightning. This ability combined vision and X-ray vision, infinitely magnifying it to an unimaginable degree. Seeing through the essence of everything. That was to say, for example, a normal drop of dew. From Zhao Feng's point of view, it was a complex building made up of billions of particles. Zhao Feng took a deep breath and slowly calmed himself down. Maybe this wasn't the only use of this ability. Zhao Feng. Duanmu Qing arrived outside the secret hall. Master. Zhao Feng had sensed Duanmu Qing's arrival a long time ago, but the change in his left eye attracted his attention. Congratulations, Master, on breaking through to the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng walked out of the secret hall and clasped his fists. After breaking through to the mystic light realm, Duanmu Qing's lifespan had increased dramatically, and he looked even more energetic. This is all thanks to you for taking the risk to obtain the 100 origin sacred honey in the ancient mysterious palace. Zhao Yufei told Duanmu Qing everything that happened in the divine illusion dimension. Including how Zhao Feng had taken over another body and revived. Duanmu Qing felt slightly regretful. If it was the Zhao Feng of the past, who knew how much he would have grown? I didn't expect you to kill the Emperor of Death. Duanmu Qing sighed in his heart. Even though he had broken through to the mystic light realm, he didn't want to offend the Emperor of Death and an emperor that was even older than him. However, Zhao Feng had chased the Emperor of Death to the point of death and created a legend of the Tsang Ocean. Humph, after being chased for 7 years, how could I let him go now that I have the chance? Speaking of the Emperor of Death, Zhao Feng thought back to how he had to run and hide under the shadow of death for 7 years. He had never experienced such humiliation in his life, so how could he just let it go like that? Duanmu Qing nodded his head. His disciple had long since surpassed him. Duanmu Qing inspected the current Zhao Feng with a praising gaze. He had a head of light golden hair that was as elegant as holy light, golden eyes that seemed to contain all things, and a handsome face that gave off a transcendent aura. When Duanmu Qing saw those golden eyes that looked like pure amber, his heart trembled. He felt like all his secrets were laid bare for all to see. Zhao Feng, now that your god eye has mutated, your true strength has probably reached the level of an unrivaled emperor, right? Duanmu Qing asked curiously. He had never seen through this disciple of his, whether it was the Zhao Feng of the past or the current Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's cultivation had just reached the late stages of the void god realm. His strength was estimated to be an unrivaled emperor, which had increased by 3 ranks. Only the top 5 geniuses on the imperial genius rankings had such an evaluation. Currently, Zhao Feng was ranked 8th on the imperial genius rankings. However, Duanmu Qing believed that Zhao Feng's ranking would be even higher. The mutation of my left eye only gave me a supportive ability. Zhao Feng revealed a faint smile and told Duanmu Qing the truth. Although it was a supportive ability, it definitely surpassed his imagination, and Zhao Feng couldn't explain it right now. As for whether or not his left eye had any other new abilities, Zhao Feng hadn't looked into it yet. Master, you must have something else to do after coming all the way here, right? Zhao Feng could see something from Duanmu Qing's expression. Indeed, there is something else. Duanmu Qing didn't know what to say. Something to do with me? Zhao Feng was puzzled. Something to do with Yufei. Duanmu Qing sighed. What's wrong with Yufei? Zhao Feng was puzzled. Zhao Yufei was part of the Duanmu family, one of the 8 big families. What kind of danger would she be in? While I was in seclusion to break through to the mystic light realm, the Grand Elder of the Duanmu family and the Sacred Emperor arranged a marriage between Zhao Yufei and the 13th prince. Duanmu Qing had an enraged expression as he told Zhao Feng everything. The Grand Elder was to blame for all of this. He cared too much about the family and only cared about the benefits at hand. Furthermore, the Sacred Emperor had agreed, and the 13th prince's mother was also the Sacred Empress. This matter had already spread among the members of the royal family. Marriage? Yufei? Zhao Feng stopped thinking for a moment. His emotions were extremely weird. He couldn't describe it, but it was like he was letting go or feeling empty. Zhao Feng knew how much Zhao Yufei loved him. He had always been avoiding it, whether intentionally or not. He needed to follow his heart and find Lu Qinxin. He couldn't go back on his promise, so he had to avoid Yufei's love. He didn't want to fall in love with another woman. This made him feel like he had betrayed Lu Qinxin. However, he might have already fallen in love with another woman. This made him feel like he had hurt Zhao Yufei. Zhao Feng's god's eye wasn't able to see through all of this. His left eye was slightly dazed. Duanmu Qing shook his head and sighed. He knew that Zhao Yufei loved Zhao Feng. On the other hand, if it wasn't for the fiancé incident, Zhao Feng might have been together with Zhao Yufei already. Being the middleman, Duanmu Qing didn't know what to do. From his point of view, he had a reason for all of this. That was how fate was, it was always confusing. Master, the 13th prince is arrogant and impulsive. This person isn't suitable for Yufei. Zhao Feng suddenly raised his head with a serious expression. Yufei and I are childhood friends. How can I let her marry such a person? Zhao Feng said again. His tone and expression were abnormally calm. It made others feel like Zhao Feng was very clear-headed at this moment. He commented on the matter with the utmost fairness. Duanmu Qing's mouth opened slightly. He had thought about what Zhao Feng might say, but there was no such answer. Duanmu Qing couldn't help but laugh. Only Zhao Feng could think of such an answer. Ha ha ha, I think so too. How can the 13th prince be worthy of junior sister Yufei? Duanmu Qing laughed and patted Zhao Feng's shoulder. He knew that this disciple of his had a very low EQ. Since you care about Yufei so much, then come with me to the Duanmu family, Duanmu Qing said seriously. This matter involved the pride of the Duanmu family and the Imperials. It wasn't something that just anyone could say. I'll make some arrangements first. Zhao Feng left. Apart from Duanmu Qing, no one else came or went within 100 miles of Zhao Feng's secret chamber. This was a forbidden ground. However, after leaving this area, Zhao Feng found that the sky was filled with people. The overall appearance of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had changed a lot, and the number of experts had increased. While Zhao Feng was observing the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, these members were also inspecting Zhao Feng with surprise. Are there golden-haired members in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion? I've never seen one before. His eyes are golden. Is he a non-human? But he's so handsome, a female member said with a dazed expression. At this moment, Bai Qinyue, who was surrounded by a hazy moonlight, quickly rushed over. Bai Qinyue sensed that Zhao Feng had come out of seclusion through the dark heart seal. It's the Pavilion Master. Greetings, Pavilion Master. All the members around him bowed in greeting. Bai Qinyue didn't bother with the greetings of the members. She stopped in front of Zhao Feng and was slightly surprised. The changes in Zhao Feng before and after entering seclusion were too big. The purple-haired Zhao Feng gave her a bewitching sense of beauty. The current Zhao Feng made her feel a tinge of warmth and maturity, making him even more charming. Greetings, Grand Elder, Bai Qinyue said respectfully. The surrounding members paused. Most of them had never seen the Grand Elder before, and a small number of them had only seen him once. However, there was no one who did not know about the Grand Elder. He had saved the Ocean Smoke Pavilion from the claws of 9 Darkness Palace, provided countless resources, and teamed up with the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, making the Ocean Smoke Pavilion stronger than ever. The Grand Elder's master was a sacred lord of the 8 big families. This legendary Grand Elder was only a youth in his teens. However, they had just witnessed the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's pavilion master address the golden-haired youth that they were surrounding as a supreme elder. That youth was the Grand Elder of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. "Oh my God! Let's go to the conference pavilion," Zhao Feng said and continued forward with Bai Qingyue following behind him. Chapter 9:13. Within the conference hall, Bai Qingyue, Emperor Withered Shadow, and Old Monster Su inspected Zhao Feng. "Cough, I will be leaving the Ocean Smoke Pavilion for a long time." Zhao Feng dryly coughed. Every time the god eye changed color, it was impossible for him to do anything about it. "Master, are you going to the continent?" All 3 of them were experts that had the dark heart seal planted in them, and they asked at the same time. They could guess what was going on as well. Their master's master had come all the way here to wait for Zhao Feng to come out of seclusion. "That's right," Zhao Feng said confidently. "The Ocean Smoke Pavilion has Old Monster Su, and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight will become a sacred lord soon. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion won't need to fear any force around the ocean anymore." In reality, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had Duke Nanfeng protecting it. The 8 big families that Duanmu Qing was from could also threaten them. 9 Darkness Palace's main target was Zhao Feng, so they wouldn't do anything to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. "Master, don't worry. We will take care of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion." Bai Qingyue was extremely confident. Seeing that Old Monster Su wanted to say something, Zhao Feng said, "Old Monster Su, I will remove my control over you once the 100 years are up. At that time, it will be up to you to decide whether you want to stay or leave." "Thank you, Master." Old Monster Su's heart was filled with complex emotions. There was a desire to be free from Zhao Feng's control. However, with his rationality, he felt that following Zhao Feng was better than staying in the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Duanmu Qing had been waiting for a long time. "Master, please wait." Zhao Feng floated over. Although his speed wasn't any slower than a sacred lord's, that was only if he used the lightning wing spatial flash continuously. Zhao Feng's normal flying speed wasn't as fast as a sacred lord's, let alone his stamina. Furthermore, the Duanmu family was too far away from the continent. Even if he used teleportation arrays most of the way, it would take at least half a year. Using the lightning wings flying technique all the time used up too much energy. If he used the lightning wing spatial flash as well, the time he would need to rest would probably be longer than flying. "Master, use this." Zhao Feng waved his left hand, and a strangely constructed flying car appeared in front of him. Duanmu Qing was surprised. It was not difficult to see that this flying carriage was a product of the Heaven's Legacy race. At the same time, he remembered that Zhao Feng was only a late-stage king, so his speed obviously wouldn't be able to keep up with a Mystic Light Realm's sacred lord. However, flying treasures were just too rare, not to mention treasures that could reach the speed of a sacred lord. Duanmu Qing and Zhao Feng boarded the flying flaming chariot. Xiu! The flaming chariot pierced through the sky, leaving behind a trail of dazzling multicolored light as if it was traveling on a rainbow. "Good treasure, its speed is close to that of a great emperor," Duanmu Qing praised. The 2 of them set off toward the continent zone. The first stop was Haili Province, which was closest to the sea. There were a total of 18 states in the Great Qian dynasty, which were conferred by the 8 major families or the royal family. Each prefecture was further divided into many cities. However, every city on the continent was as large as one of the 3 great spirit zones of the Ash-Gray Sea. Meow. The little thieving cat was unwillingly called out by Zhao Feng. It obviously knew that Zhao Feng wanted it to be the driver of the flying chariot. On the other hand, when Zhao Feng saw the little thieving cat, he suddenly remembered that this was a cat of unknown origin. Information about the little thieving cat was still a top secret within the Heaven's Legacy City, and no one had the right to know it. Zhao Feng instinctively touched the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye and used his new ability. When a faint golden ripple spread from Zhao Feng's eye and merged into the air. Meow meow. The little thieving cat immediately turned invisible and reappeared above Zhao Feng's head while meowing. Zhao Feng was speechless. The little thieving cat told Zhao Feng not to look at it with its yellow eyes. Looks like the little thieving cat is very scared of the ability of my left eye. Zhao Feng was both surprised and happy. He had finally found something that could counter the little thieving cat. This made Zhao Feng place more importance on this new ability. He needed to study it carefully. Meow meow. The little thieving cat gave Zhao Feng a pitiful look as it obediently drove the flaming chariot. Duanmu Qing smiled faintly as he looked at the weird interaction between Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat. I need to test out the ability of my left eye. Zhao Feng entered the misty spatial world and looked at one of the flowers. His consciousness touched the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. When a faint golden ripple spread from his left eye. In his field of vision, the flower instantly became a dense mass of golden light spots, innumerable. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zhao Feng could clearly see the structure of one of the particles. A tiny particle was like a complex, strange, and majestic building. The misty spatial world's little world had its own laws, and everything within it was man-made. However, Zhao Feng's left eye could see through everything. He found that the structure of the flower's particles was loose, and there were fewer of them. Most importantly, the usage of these elemental particles was extremely messy. As I thought, even mystic light realm's sacred lords and demigods can't recreate everything in the real world, Zhao Feng understood. The difference between the materials in a little world and those in the real world was like the difference between a flower and a fake mountain. If I create a little world, would I be able to create a more realistic little world with the help of King Tong? I might even be able to create a real dimension. Zhao Feng's heart started to beat, and his blood started to boil. At the same time, his left eye started to beat. Even Zhao Feng felt that this idea was far too crazy, as if it were a fantasy. Creating a world and creating a real dimension was the domain of gods. Right now, he hadn't even formed a little world yet. Putting aside the unrealistic idea, Zhao Feng sunk into the world of particles once more. It seems to have the same principles as the divine light of destruction. Zhao Feng suddenly thought of the unique eye bloodline technique of the Golden Sun family in the Azure Flower continent, the divine light of destruction. The principle of the divine light of destruction was to separate and analyze all kinds of attacks, including eye bloodline techniques, and reduce their power. The divine light of destruction that Zhao Feng had secretly learned contained his understanding of the intent of wind, and its main principle was to separate and slice. From the looks of it, the divine light of destruction separates the structure of a physical attack into large particles to reduce the power of an attack. Zhao Feng, who had a golden eye, instantly analyzed. The power of a complete attack would decrease dramatically if part of the structure of a true Yuan attack was lost. If I merge the new ability of my left eye into the divine light of destruction, will I be able to turn true Yuan attacks into particles? Break down all attacks into particles and destroy their structure. A light flashed through Zhao Feng's mind, and he became excited. Any form of matter, including souls, was made up of billions of particles. Since his left eye could see through the essence of everything, it could easily destroy the structure between particles. If this move was successful, it would be an eye bloodline technique that surpassed the divine light of destruction by several levels. Furthermore, only Zhao Feng could use it. With this thought, Zhao Feng entered the dimension of his left eye and started to simulate it. Luckily, he had secretly learned the intent of the divine light of destruction. Even now, the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye still contained the information he had stolen from that day. On a certain day, a faint golden beam of light shot out from Zhao Feng's golden eye and landed on the rock in front of him. Crack! The rock instantly shattered into a pile of small stones. It can pierce through matter, and its ability to break down energy far surpasses the divine light of destruction, but it's not strong enough. Zhao Feng shook his head and sighed. His goal was to at least break down the rock into particles. Otherwise, how would he be able to break down true Yuan attacks? 1 month later. Zhao Feng walked in front of a large rock and took a deep breath. He circulated the power of his left eye, and an even brighter golden beam of light shot out and pierced through the center of the rock. The part of the rock that was hit by the golden beam of light instantly disappeared, and a large hole appeared. It was as if this rock had always been like this, and there was no sign of it being man-made. Maybe some people with strong divine sense would be able to sense the countless tiny elemental particles floating in the air. It's basically formed. I just need to test it out. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. After all, Zhao Feng had already analyzed the rocks in the misty spatial world thousands of times. Zhao Feng didn't even need to use his left eye to draw out the particle structure of the rocks. However, the particle structure of everything, including true Yuan and souls, was completely different. This meant that if Zhao Feng wanted to separate the unknown, the speed and effect would be lower. Zhao Feng. Duanmu Qing woke up Zhao Feng. I've arrived at another teleportation array. Zhao Feng walked out of the misty spatial world. The Great Gan Lord dynasty was extremely big, and no province teleportation arrays had appeared yet. However, it was said that the array masters of the Imperials were already thinking about it. There were only a few teleportation arrays in each province, and they were located in the busiest areas of the most prosperous cities. Not everyone had the right to use the intercity teleportation formation. Zhao Feng looked into the distance. Something's not right, Zhao Feng said. Zhao Feng put away the flaming chariot and walked toward the grand palace with Duanmu Qing. The teleportation array has malfunctioned and is currently being repaired. You can't enter right now. Outside the palace, 2 golden-robed generals with half-step king cultivation base looked at the white-haired golden-haired man and blocked his path. The master and disciple looked at each other and made a decision. They would rest here for a while. Please wait. At this moment, an elder flew out from the palace. Sacred Lord Duanmu, the teleportation array will be ready soon. You can go in and have a seat. The elder looked at Duanmu Qing with a respectful smile. Duanmu Qing had used the teleportation array here more than half a year ago. The elder had recorded all of this. The expressions of the 2 golden-robed generals changed, and cold sweat appeared on their bodies. They didn't know that this white-haired male was actually a sacred lord. Furthermore, he was from one of the 8 big families. Since it could be repaired soon, they might as well wait. There were also 2 groups of people waiting within the palace. One group had 6 people, 3 elders, 2 youths, and 1 girl. All of them had purple hair. A sacred lord of the Duanmu family. One of them, an old man with white hair and purple hair, looked at Duanmu Qing from afar. His eyes were like deep stars. On the other hand, the beautiful purple-haired girl stared at Zhao Feng. You're Zhao Feng. Wariness flashed through the purple-haired girl's eyes as she exclaimed after a long time. Chapter 9:14. You're Zhao Feng. Wariness flashed through the purple-haired girl's eyes as she exclaimed. All the gazes in the hall immediately focused on Zhao Feng, their faces filled with suspicion. Zhao Feng was the biggest winner of the divine illusion dimension and the leader of the purple-haired demonic duo. There were many mysterious rumors surrounding this youth. Even the older generation felt that those rumors were exaggerated. Everyone knew that Zhao Feng was the leader of the purple-haired demonic duo, but this youth had golden hair and golden eyes. Ji Lan, is he really Zhao Feng? A short-haired male next to Ji Lan asked with furrowed eyebrows. After Ji Lan returned to the Ji family, she had told the elders about Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Therefore, Both the younger and older generations of the Ji family wanted to see Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Apart from the descendants of the 8 great god eyes, the eye bloodline of the Ji family stood at the peak of the Lord dynasty. He's Zhao Feng. Ji Lan was very sure that she had suffered the backlash of Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye in the divine illusion dimension and witnessed the powerful abilities of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Zhao Feng's image was deeply engraved in her heart. How could she not recognize him? However, it was all thanks to Zhao Feng that Ji Lan was defeated in her area of expertise. Ji Lan's personality changed dramatically after returning to the family, and she started to study the Ji family's eye bloodline techniques, making her purple star eyes even purer. Don't think that you can get rid of your bad reputation just because you dyed your hair, Ji Lan murmured. The atmosphere became slightly awkward. The other force within the hall was only the city lord of this city, and they weren't on the same level as the 8 big families. At this moment, they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Duanmu Qin greets Sacred Lord Star Demon of the Ji family. Duanmu Qin gave a faint smile and bowed. He had heard of what Zhao Feng did in the divine illusion dimension, and Zhao Feng had probably taken a treasure from the Ji family. Sacred Lord Star Demon was an extremely old Grand Elder of the Ji family, and his eye bloodline had reached the peak of perfection. I heard that the Duanmu family has a new Sacred Lord. It's you, right? The aged voice of the pale, purple-haired old man echoed in the void. The people from the city lord's faction and the old man guarding the teleportation formation were startled. They felt as if the world had changed, and they were in a daze. This was the first time that the Ji clan's Grand Elder had spoken. He didn't open his mouth, but his words pierced through one's soul, causing one to hallucinate. Even Zhao Feng was extremely cautious as he looked at Sacred Lord Star Demon. The latter's mastery of the soul and eye bloodline techniques wasn't simple. Buzz. When Zhao Feng met Sacred Lord Star Demon's faint purple eyes, he felt as if he was in a world of stars. Countless stars were burning with black flames that covered the sky as they smashed down. Zhao Feng's left eye flashed with a faint golden light, and everything returned to normal. Very powerful. He didn't even use his eye prowess, but just a single glance was enough to make me fall into an illusion. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. This was the strongest eye bloodline he had ever seen. From the looks of it, this elder's cultivation surpassed normal Sacred Lords. Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression changed slightly as he looked at Zhao Feng. Duanmu Qin explained humbly, I was lucky. It was all thanks to the disciples of the Duanmu family. I managed to break through in the divine illusion dimension. Although they were both early-stage Sacred Lords, Sacred Lord Star Demon had lived for at least 40,000 years, and his strength couldn't be measured by cultivation. This is my disciple. Duanmu Qin introduced Zhao Feng as someone from one of the 8 big families, but he didn't say that he was Zhao Feng. Those from the Ji family paused and became even more suspicious of this golden-haired youth's identity. The purple-haired demonic duo seemed to come from outside the Tsang Ocean, so they shouldn't be related to the Duanmu family. Ji Lan, on the other hand, seemed to have understood something. She remembered that the purple-haired demonic duo didn't steal anything from the Duanmu family in the divine illusion dimension, which made the other forces suspicious. Furthermore, Zhao Feng seemed to have a complicated relationship with Zhao Yufei. This is my 3rd disciple. Lord Star Demon revealed a faint smile. His meaning was very obvious. Sacred Lord Duanmu, I can see that your disciple has an eye bloodline, so he's definitely not simple. This junior is very curious and wants to spar with him. The short-haired male from the Ji family stepped forward, and his eyes flashed with purple-blue light. Master, let this disciple try. Zhao Feng stepped forward before Duanmu Qin could say anything. Zhao Feng had been studying the disintegration ability of his golden eye within the misty spatial world. He had already disintegrated countless trees and flowers, and he wanted to try it out in real combat. Seeing Zhao Feng accept the challenge, the other 2 elders of the Ji family laughed coldly in their hearts. Ji Wuye's purple star eyes were unrivaled amongst the younger generation, apart from the geniuses of the Ji family from the previous generation. No one could surpass Ji Wuye in terms of eye bloodline techniques. He, Big Brother Wuye's eye is a mutated purple star eyes. An even younger youth next to Ji Lan said with a smile. In his heart, Ji Wuye was his role model. The purple star eyes specialized in the Tao of illusion and soul attacks, and Ji Wuye's mutated purple star eyes could even add physical attacks to it. Ji Lan's gaze was locked onto Zhao Feng. This mysterious youth had a calm and solemn expression. No one could tell what he was thinking, and he was shrouded in mist. Even she couldn't see through Zhao Feng's cultivation. Ji Lan didn't think that Ji Wuye would be able to gain an advantage against Zhao Feng. This one is Ji Wuye. The short-haired male couldn't hide the arrogance on his face as he gave his name. Please. Zhao Feng said. His faint golden hair moved without any wind, and a golden sacred light flowed in his left eye. Ji Wuye's expression became grim. He gave his name because he hoped that Zhao Feng would give his name as well. To Ji Wuye, Zhao Feng's act of not announcing his name was a humiliation. Okay. Ji Wuye's expression paused for a moment, and a dreamy purple and blue starlight appeared in his eyes as a surge of soul aura spread. Falling star. An even stronger eye bloodline power shot out from Ji Wuye's eyes like a torrential purple and blue flame. Boom. Boom. In the soul dimension, countless stars burning with purple and blue flames covered the sky and crashed toward Zhao Feng. Their aura was so strong that it could shatter one's mind and make one unable to fight back. At the same time, a chain burning with purple and blue flames wrapped around Zhao Feng's soul. It was as if his soul was going to shatter when the purple and blue flames smashed into him. Disintegrate. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as his faint golden hair blew in the wind. A powerful surge of eye intent spread from his left eye. What powerful eye intent! Ji Wuye's expression changed slightly as he stopped underestimating Zhao Feng. This eye intent wasn't any weaker than his. Apart from Sacred Lord Star Demon, the eye bloodlines of everyone from the Ji family shook. He's already grown to such a level. Ji Lan was dazed and in disbelief. When a faint golden beam of light shot out from his left eye and pierced through the purple and blue flames in the sky. A physical attack. Ji Wuye was dazed. It was common knowledge that physical attacks and soul attacks couldn't affect each other. Someone was using a physical attack to block a soul attack. Was this golden-haired youth an idiot? Ji Wuye couldn't help but snicker. From the looks of it, this person wasn't Zhao Feng. Everyone present felt that something was wrong as well. Zhao Feng had clearly released an abnormal surge of eye bloodline power, but his eye bloodline technique had passed through Ji Wuye's attack. Wait, what's that? The eyes of the youth from the Ji family bulged as he exclaimed. The flaming stars that were pierced by the faint golden beam of light started to slowly disappear. Ji Wuye's soul attack disappeared just like that without any collision of soul power. Even the damage on the physical level had strangely disappeared. Everyone at the scene held their breaths as they carefully sensed the strange scene before them. How is this possible? My soul intent and eye intent have all disappeared as well. Fear flashed through Ji Wuye's eyes. He couldn't believe that there was such a weird eye bloodline technique. Duanmu Qing didn't specialize in the soul, so he also felt that this scene was unbelievable. Sacred Lord Star Demon's faint purple eyes flashed with faint purple light as he looked at the place where their soul attacks collided. Sii. A piercing pain came from Zhao Feng's left eye. Ji Wuye's soul attack also contained physical damage, so it was extremely difficult to disintegrate it and expended a lot of eye bloodline power. Furthermore, this was the first time that Zhao Feng had used it in battle. As expected, disintegrating flowers and stones wasn't on the same level as disintegrating a soul attack. The particles contained within a soul attack were several thousand times more than the flowers and stones in a little world. A surge of precious and complicated information was instantly stored in the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. The piercing pain became stronger and stronger, and Zhao Feng had to stop disintegrating and close his left eye. That golden-haired youth has stopped his eye bloodline technique. Only a portion of Ji Wuya's soul attack disappeared. The rest of the flaming stars continued toward Zhao Feng. On the other hand, Zhao Feng stood still with his eyes closed. What does he want to do? Ji Lan's emotions were extremely complicated. This youth was always unfathomable. Boom! 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 In an instant, all the flaming stars landed on Zhao Feng's soul intent. Whoosh! 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 A wave of lightning suddenly spread through Zhao Feng's purple soul. All the soul attacks were destroyed by the power of God Tribulation Lightning, including the chains that bound him. Everything returned to normal within the hall, and Zhao Feng and Ji Wuya were still standing there. Zhao Feng suddenly opened his golden left eye and looked at Ji Wuya. Hiss! Ji Wuya shuddered. He had a feeling that his entire body, including his spirit, was being controlled by the other party. It was as if there was an eye in his body that was spying on him. Ji Wuya admits defeat. Ji Wuya bowed and retreated. Although he didn't know why his soul attack had disappeared into thin air, he knew that his soul attack had disappeared into thin air. But in the end, Zhao Feng's soul released tiny lightning bolts, which made him realize that he was no match for this youngster. This golden-haired youth's soul and eye bloodline techniques were unfathomable. Ji Lan smiled helplessly. She couldn't even understand Zhao Feng's eye technique. Sacred Lord Duanmu, you've taken in a good disciple. The stars in Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes started to fade as he spoke with a faint smile. Little friend, would you be willing to come to the Ji family as a guest if you have the time? The Ji family's eye bloodline collection and secret techniques are one of the best in the Great Gon Lord dynasty. Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't hide his intention to recruit him. Among the 8 great families, the Ji family was far stronger than the Duanmu family. The elder guarding the teleportation array and the forces of the city lord looked at Zhao Feng with envy. Thank you, Sacred Lord Star Demon. This junior will definitely go and learn from you if I have the chance. Zhao Feng's expression returned to normal as he gave a warm smile. Sacred Lord Star Demon is going to the Great Gon Imperials? Duanmu Qing asked. Chapter 9:15. Mystic Light Realm's sacred lords of any force wouldn't casually appear in the outside world. Not to mention the supreme elders of the 8 great clans. Furthermore, there were 3 young disciples of the Ji family next to Sacred Lord Star Demon, and they were all extremely talented. I'm bringing the juniors to the palace to broaden their horizons. I wonder why Sacred Lord Duanmu is here. Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression remained the same as he gave a vague reply. The Duanmu clan resided in the northeast, and it was only 1 prefecture away from the imperial capital. As for Duanmu Qing, he appeared at the southern border. Since he came all the way here, it must be something important. I have some urgent matters to attend to. I have no choice but to leave the clan. Duanmu Qing answered vaguely as well. His answer did not displease anyone. However, everyone from the Ji family subconsciously looked at the golden-haired, golden-eyed youth. Zhao Feng was originally the left-eyed heavenly emperor, but he possessed a disciple of the 10,000 sacred clan and was reborn. This place wasn't far from the 10,000 sacred clan. Adding on Ji Lan's confirmation, the golden-haired youth's mysterious eye bloodline had never appeared in the Duanmu family before. The golden-haired youth's identity was very close to Zhao Feng's. At this moment, Duanmu Qing traveled a long distance to the border to bring Zhao Feng back to the Duanmu clan. The reason was self-evident, the struggle for the crown prince position. With Zhao Feng's performance in the divine illusion dimension, even the top-tier eye bloodline families couldn't see through his mysterious eye bloodline technique. He would definitely be able to obtain another spot for the Duanmu family. Sacred Lord Duanmu, the teleportation array has been repaired. I'll be leaving first. The members of the Ji clan bade farewell to Duanmu Qing. In fact, the cross-city teleportation array had already been repaired. However, no one dared to interrupt the conversation between the two sacred lords of the 8 big families. Supreme Elder, what was that technique that Zhao Feng used just now? Ji Wuye couldn't help but ask after leaving. At the same time, the other 2 elders and 2 youngsters of the Ji family immediately put on a look of listening attentively. From their point of view, only Sacred Lord Star Demon could tell them the answer. Sacred Lord Star Demon's mastery of the Purple Star Eyes had reached the peak. He kept trying to combine the Purple Star Eyes with other eye bloodline techniques to develop eye bloodline techniques that were suitable for the Purple Star Eyes. He contributed many new and powerful eye bloodline techniques to the Ji family. Therefore, although Sacred Lord Star Demon's cultivation wasn't high, his eye bloodline techniques were extremely terrifying. Disintegrate. Sacred Lord Star Demon only said 2 words. Decompose. The other 5 were confused. Before Zhao Feng used the secret technique, he had also said the same word. Supreme Elder, I know of an eye bloodline technique that can neutralize attacks. It's an eye bloodline technique that reduces the damage of an attack. It's completely different from the eye bloodline technique that Zhao Feng used. Ji Wuye couldn't figure out what these 2 words meant, but he had seen similar eye bloodline techniques before. That Junior's eye bloodline technique is similar to a deciphering eye bloodline technique. Sacred Lord Star Demon thought for a moment before speaking slowly. Breaking through eye bloodline techniques requires finding the key points of the offensive intent and destroying them to reduce their power. You can understand the theory behind that Junior's eye bloodline technique as breaking down the key points of the offensive intent completely. After listening to the Grand Elder's explanation, everyone from the Ji family was dumbfounded. They all knew that deciphering eye bloodline techniques used up a lot of energy and had very little damage. Therefore, only those with special eye bloodlines would often use this technique to increase its effectiveness. However, what the Grand Elder said was to break down all the key points of the offensive intent. Breaking down and breaking down weren't on the same level. It was just like how it was extremely easy to break a wall, but it was very troublesome to keep the bricks that made up the wall intact. One had to reach such a level. How strong would one's soul and eye bloodline power be? It was no wonder Zhao Feng had stopped halfway through. That's just my conservative thinking. Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes seemed to fall into deep thought as he spoke slowly. Everyone instantly became silent. They were experts in eye bloodline techniques, so they obviously knew that the Grand Elder was speaking the truth. After sending off the members of the Ji family, Duanmu Qing and Zhao Feng also stepped into the teleportation array. Only after the 2 sacred lords left did everyone in the hall let out a breath. Who is that golden-haired youth? How did he make a genius of the Ji clan admit defeat in one move? A youth from the city lord's forces was stunned. After teleporting to a nearby city, the master and disciples sat on the flaming chariot and charged into the sky once more. Zhao Feng, is this the ability of your God's eye? Duanmu Qing revealed a surprised expression. He couldn't tell what the theory behind Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was. The mutation of my left eye only increased my vision and analytical abilities. The eye bloodline technique just now was a new eye bloodline technique that I created by combining my other eye bloodline techniques with my supportive abilities. Zhao Feng immediately explained. He told the truth about the god's spiritual eye's new ability and the origin of this eye bloodline technique. Looks like we misunderstood it. Duanmu Qing tried to look at it from a different perspective. Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique wasn't as terrifying as he had imagined. Zhao Feng had only made a portion of the soul attack disappear, and it expended a lot of energy. It didn't seem like it had any offensive abilities. However, they didn't understand the theory behind it, which was why it was so mysterious. After all, humans were fearful of the unknown. The master and disciple chatted for a bit before Zhao Feng entered the misty spatial world once more. This actual combat had given him a lot of insights. Disintegrating Ji Wuye's soul attack was on a completely different level compared to disintegrating flowers and stones. His soul attack also contained physical damage. Zhao Feng's left eye instantly received a large amount of unknown information, which was why he felt a piercing pain and had to stop. In other words, once Zhao Feng digested the information, he would be able to easily disintegrate Ji Wuye's next attack. Zhao Feng also suppressed his soul intent to the same level as Ji Wuye and started experimenting. Sacred Lord Star Demon could definitely tell this. However, Sacred Lord Star Demon was only interested in Zhao Feng's eye bloodline from the start. Zhao Feng didn't mind this. Even the thieving cat was scared of the god's eye's new ability. From this, one could see that it wasn't simple. Every time I disintegrate it, the information I obtain will be stored in a golden ball, and I can look at it whenever I want. It won't be like before, where I had to use my left eye to copy and absorb it. Zhao Feng was very satisfied with this. The structure of every particle has something in common, and each particle has its own element. As he disintegrated more and more particles, Zhao Feng would be able to comprehend something after a long time of observation. Zhao Feng guessed that if he could completely understand this information, his efficiency at disintegrating anything in the future would increase dramatically. Every particle has its own element, and it doesn't just consist of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Zhao Feng was attracted by this world, and he started to immerse himself in the misty spatial world. More than a dozen days passed. Zhao Feng had a basic understanding of the structure of particles. A sacred lord's physical body, soul, and mystic light sacred power are highly fused together. Their defense and recovery abilities are extremely strong. If I can separate these three powers. Zhao Feng thought to himself. If he could separate the mystic light sacred power from the physical body, soul, and soul of a sacred lord, the advantage of a sacred lord would decrease by a lot. This was just Zhao Feng's idea. He didn't dare to test it out, so he wasn't sure. Furthermore, Zhao Feng didn't have the ability to disintegrate a large area right now. If the area of disintegration increased, the pressure and burden he had to bear would increase. However, what was certain was that Zhao Feng's disintegration ability could ignore the defense of a sacred lord and directly disintegrate the sacred body. Since a sacred lord hadn't cultivated the knowledge of particles before, he couldn't repair them. He could only rely on the recovery abilities of his sacred body. This meant that this was another trump card that could threaten a sacred lord. The more I look into it, the more I feel that the Golden God's Eye's ability is different. It seems like I can continue to dig deeper. Zhao Feng sunk into the microscopic world hungrily. Right now, understanding was the most important thing. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. During this period of time, Zhao Feng didn't cultivate anything else. Using the golden eye used too much soul intent and eye bloodline power. If Zhao Feng wanted to learn the secrets, he needed to focus even more. Therefore, he didn't circulate the 10,000 divine thoughts technique to distract himself. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's cultivation, the Golden Kun sacred lightning body, and the 5 elemental wind lightning technique had just broken through not long ago, so he needed time to consolidate his foundation. Zhao Feng, the Duanmu family is almost there. Duanmu Qing's voice sounded. Zhao Feng walked out of the misty spatial world and looked at the beautiful buildings in front of him. There was a clear stream, and birds chirped. It was like a paradise. The Duanmu family was located in the center of the basin, and it was surrounded by short mountains. The only way out was through a stream that was dozens of yards wide. Elder Qing, who is this brat? 5 elders of the Duanmu family floated above the stream at the entrance of the Duanmu family. They had been waiting for a long time. This is my disciple. Duanmu Qing replied, and the aura of a sacred lord spread. A horrifying aura pressed down on the surrounding space. Duanmu Qing looked down at the 5 martial emperors like a deity. He exuded might without being angry. The 5 elders were all emperors, but they acted as if they were questioning Duanmu Qing, who was a sacred lord. There was obviously a sacred lord-level grand elder behind the scenes. Elder Qing, calm down. We're not here to make things difficult for you. An elder in green robes who was slightly weaker immediately gave in under Duanmu Qing's sacred lord-level aura and acted like he was wronged. Elder Qing, Zhao Feng is one of the purple-haired demonic duo and has a bad reputation. It's not suitable for him to join the Duanmu family. Zhao Feng has offended too many forces in the divine illusion dimension. Now that the Duanmu family is on the rise, we can't ruin their reputation. Duanmu Qing's expression changed slightly as the elders tried to persuade him. After all, Duanmu Qing was a member of the Duanmu family, and he also hoped that the Duanmu family could regain its former glory. However, he knew what kind of person his disciple was. Stealing resources and treasures in the divine illusion dimension was normal. Had the 3-star superpowers never bullied 2-star forces before? The strong were respected, and the weak were eliminated. However, those experts who thought that they were infallible lost to the weak, and they felt like they had lost face. That was why they used a bad reputation to regain their face. Elders, this isn't the real reason, right? Duanmu Qing's expression slowly returned to normal as he spoke calmly. The elders instantly stopped and lowered their heads, not trying to persuade him anymore. This indeed wasn't the real reason. Suddenly, a dazzling green light shot out from the Duanmu clan. It shrouded the surroundings with boundless might as it headed straight for Duanmu Qing. This is the real reason. The ancient and sonorous voice was like a sound wave, and its power was monstrous. Chapter 9:16. A bright green light lit up heaven and earth, and a limitless magnificent power shot toward Duanmu Qing. This is the true reason. The ancient and sonorous voice was like a sound wave, and its power was monstrous. Duanmu Qing had a grim expression. He didn't expect the Grand Elder to appear. Zhao Feng also felt that something was wrong. Although he was Duanmu Qing's disciple, he didn't even have the right to enter the Duanmu family. A square-faced elder wearing white robes instantly arrived in front of Duanmu Qing. The magnificent power of the 2 sacred lords clashed, and the wind and clouds started to move. Space started to twist, and an invisible clash formed a forbidden zone. The 5 emperors immediately retreated. The square-faced elder's cold eyes paused for a moment as he looked at the golden-haired Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's golden hair and golden eyes made him feel weird. Normally, eye bloodlines would only change the shape or color of the eye if something happened. Furthermore, Zhao Feng didn't move at all as the auras of the 2 sacred lords clashed. It was incredible that he was able to block the pressure of a sacred lord so easily despite being a king. Duanmu Qing, don't you know what Zhao Feng did in the divine illusion dimension? How can someone like that become a disciple of the Duanmu family? The square-faced elder looked coldly at Zhao Feng and continued. Furthermore, this junior's partner is also a monster that obtained the power of the evil god and slaughtered the elites of 9 Darkness Palace in the divine illusion dimension. He's still being chased by 9 Darkness Palace. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly. Nan Gongsheng was in the continent zone. Furthermore, the danger he faced seemed to be even greater than his own. Thinking about it, it might be because the divine illusion dimension connected to the Tsang Ocean slowly, and Nan Gongsheng had no choice but to enter the continent zone to avoid the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon slaughter. At the same time, Zhao Feng was evaluating Nan Gongsheng's current state. He had been chased around the continent zone for 2 years, but he still hadn't died. From this, one could see that Nan Gongsheng's strength had increased rapidly. However, he didn't know how much his personality had changed. Nan Gongsheng. Duanmu Qing's heart became heavy. Nan Gongsheng was the head disciple of the mystic True Sacred Clan, a genius that only appeared once in 1,000 years. Because he had obtained the inheritance of the evil god, he was being pursued by the forces of the demonic Tao led by 9 Nether Palace in the continent zone. Nan Gongsheng's personality had been affected by the heretical god force, and he had undergone a great change. He had become bloodthirsty and cruel. Many forces were killed by Nan Gongsheng instead. Duanmu Qing couldn't save Nan Gongsheng, and the Duanmu family couldn't protect the evil god's inheritance. Also, Zhao Feng specializes in illusions and eye bloodline techniques. In the divine illusion dimension, he attacked Zhao Yufei secretly. Now, he still dares to come to the Duanmu family. The square-faced elder continued, his tone cold and murderous. Grand Elder, that's not the case. Duanmu Qing immediately retorted. Zhao Yufei and Zhao Feng had a deep relationship even before they joined the Mystic True Sacred Sect. It wasn't like what the Supreme Elder had said. If it weren't for the fact that you're his master, I would have killed that brat right now. The square-faced elder stopped Duanmu Qing's words and stared at Zhao Feng angrily. His aura was about to explode. Duanmu Qing, you're a member of the Duanmu family, but you're against the marriage between Zhao Yufei and the Imperials, and you're even encouraging your disciple. Zhao Yufei is your junior martial sister. The square-faced elder didn't give Duanmu Qing a chance to speak. Duanmu Qing was a righteous person who cared about the future of the family. The square-faced elder's words made Duanmu Qing speechless from the perspective of logic, morality, and family. Duanmu Qing, tell your disciple to leave. Don't bother Zhao Yufei anymore. The square-faced elder continued and acted as if he was going to give in. Zhao Feng heard what the Grand Elder of the Duanmu family said. A mystic light realm sacred lord was willing to sacrifice a disciple for the future of the family, but he was still acting righteous. Zhao Feng felt that he was very lucky that he didn't follow his master to the Duanmu family. A family like that wasn't worth it. Whoosh! Right as the square-faced elder and Duanmu Qing were in a stalemate, another 3 figures flew over from the Duanmu family. From their clothes, they weren't from the Duanmu family. Grand Elder, sorry to disturb you, but this matter is related to us as well. The leader was a middle-aged male wearing black and gold robes, and he explained from afar. 2 elders followed behind the male. All 3 of them were peak-tier kings. The moment the 3 arrived, they looked at Zhao Feng with obvious enmity. You're Zhao Feng. I'm from the Grand Duke Palace of the Fenglai province. The golden-robed male questioned. The Fenglai province was the province next to the Duanmu family. The Grand Duke Palace was the highest authority in a province. Duanmu Qing's expression changed slightly. He didn't expect the Imperials to be here as well. The ruler of the Fenglai province was the eldest brother of the current sacred emperor and the uncle of the 13th prince. The 2 behind him should be the 13th prince's subordinates. I'm Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's expression was calm as he looked at them. That's good, we don't have to go find you. The middle-aged male in the robes had an arrogant tone and a disdainful expression as he continued, you used an eye bloodline technique to confuse Zhao Yufei in the divine illusion dimension. The 13th prince doesn't care about that, but now that the 13th prince and Zhao Yufei have an engagement, you'll have to bear the consequences if you continue to cause trouble. The black and golden-robed male's tone became colder, and he paused when he said the last 4 words. Does Zhao Yufei agree to the engagement? Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he asked. The 3 men grimaced, their eyes flashing with killing intent as they stared at Zhao Feng. If Zhao Yufei had agreed, they wouldn't have had to come here and pester her. On the other hand, the upper echelon of the Duanmu family also showed a compromising attitude in front of Zhao Yufei, and they said that they were discussing with the sacred emperor to cancel the engagement. This was to calm Zhao Yufei down. However, that was not the case. The Duanmu family's upper echelon and the royal family's faction were obviously targeting Zhao Feng. You don't have to worry about that. The words of the man from the duke's public house were tough, and his face was filled with disdain. From his point of view, a mere void god realm king was a disciple of a 2-star sect. How could he fight against the royal family and the Duanmu family? How could he lay his hands on a goddess with the spirit race's bloodline? Dream on. Zhao Yufei and I come from the same clan, and we've been childhood sweethearts since we were young. We've cultivated together until now, and now that we've come to the continent zone, as her elder brother, why can't I interfere? Zhao Feng had an indignant look on his face as he told the truth that no one else knew. What? The hearts of the crowd shuddered. Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei are from the same family. Even Duanmu Qing did not know about this. Although both of them had the surname Zhao, there were many people in the world with the surname Zhao. Outsiders all thought that it was a coincidence. No one would have thought that Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei really did come from the same family. From this, it could be said that Zhao Feng was Zhao Yufei's elder brother. An old man behind the black golden-robed man revealed a sinister smile and slowly said, "Nonsense. You think you are Zhao Yufei's elder brother just because of your words? There are too many people with the surname Zhao. If everyone said the same thing, then they would all be Zhao Yufei's elder brother." Hearing the elder's words, the black and golden-robed male revealed a joyful expression and cheered in his heart. "You don't dare to let Zhao Yufei come out." Zhao Feng snickered coldly. He knew that there was definitely something wrong with the marriage. Otherwise, it would be so difficult for him to even see Zhao Yufei. Zhao Yufei is in seclusion right now. Do you think you can see her whenever you want? The male in robes roared angrily and impatiently. "Brat, why aren't you leaving?" The square-faced elder from the Duanmu family roared, and the aura of a sacred lord swept over like a tsunami. Zhao Feng was caught off guard and took half a step back, and the true yuan and blood within his body started to boil. The other three revealed smug and cold smiles. Under the pressure of the Imperials, the upper echelon of the Grand Duke's palace, and the Grand Elder of the Duanmu family, Duanmu Qing felt that something was wrong. If Zhao Feng continued to stay here, the situation would become even worse. "Zhao Feng, leave this place first. If there's a chance, I'll arrange for you to meet Junior Marshal Sister Yufei," Duanmu Qing messaged. Zhao Feng's eyes were cold as he looked at the square-faced elder and the other three with a weird light. The souls of the three Imperials shook under Zhao Feng's cold, golden eye. It was as if all the secrets in their hearts had been seen through, and a sense of fear made cold sweat appear on their foreheads. "Master, this disciple will be leaving." Zhao Feng cupped his fists and left. If he continued to stay here, he wouldn't be able to see Yufei. Being a member of the Duanmu family, Duanmu Qing couldn't help Zhao Feng. The other three Imperials were all cunning and couldn't be killed. If they did, it would only make Zhao Feng more infamous and give them an excuse to attack. But where should Zhao Feng go? He took out the detailed map that he had bought on the way. This is the Cloud Province where the Duanmu family is located. I'm currently in the vicinity of Long Rainbow City. If that's the case, I'll go there and take a look. His 5-elemental wind lightning technique had reached the 8th level, the fire of wind lightning. However, Zhao Feng didn't have any fire elemental resources on hand, so he needed to buy some. Within the inner hall of the Duanmu family. "Grand Elder, leave this matter to us." The male in black and gold revealed a wicked smile. 9 Darkness Palace doesn't know about Zhao Feng yet, but we'll send the news over, an elder from the Imperials said. "Why don't we just take action?" Another elder from the Imperials had an impatient personality. "Humph, Zhao Feng still has a god-slaying arrow. Furthermore, a sacred lord from 9 Darkness Palace died in Zhao Feng's hands. 9 Darkness Palace won't let this go." The male in black and gold had a cunning expression. "Hee, that's right. Let the people from 9 Darkness Palace go first." No one expected Zhao Feng to be able to use a substandard god weapon and instantly kill a sacred lord with the cultivation of a king. There's only one god-slaying arrow left. Zhao Feng won't be able to escape. The other 4 upper echelon members of the Duanmu family didn't want to do this, but they had to do it for the sake of the family. Grand Elder, don't worry. As long as Zhao Feng dies, the marriage will be much easier. Now that the 13th prince is so favored, if he becomes the crown prince and the sacred emperor, he. The male in black and gold had an excited expression as if he was saying, you know what I mean. The expressions of the upper echelon members of the Duanmu family instantly became determined. If everything developed as the male in black and gold said, the Duanmu family would be able to rise rapidly in just a few years and return to its peak. They might even become one of the top 8 big families. Chapter 9:17. The 13th prince was young and had average talent, but he came from a noble background and was loved by the sacred emperor. His mother was also from the imperial family. Therefore, the force behind the 13th prince was extremely strong. Because of Zhao Yufei's engagement, the Duanmu family was pulled into the 13th prince's faction. Apparently, the sacred empress was still preparing in secret. In front of the overall situation, the 13th prince would be able to fight back even against the 4th prince, who was the strongest. Therefore, the 13th prince had a high chance of becoming the crown prince. Even if he lost, the 13th prince's status in the Imperials would be extremely high, and the Duanmu family would be able to rise again. The 4 upper echelon members of the Duanmu family thought for a while and nodded their heads. There was less than a year and a half left until the battle to become crown prince. All the intelligence agencies were gathering information on the princes and analyzing their chances of winning. All the forces in the Lord dynasty had to choose a side. Zhao Feng, who was strolling around the market, bought a piece of intelligence, estimate of the prince's strength. A total of 10 princes were participating in the battle to become crown prince. Among them, the 4th prince was meticulous, strong, and well prepared, so he was ranked first. The 13th prince had a large force behind him, so he was ranked second. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. Just the size of his force alone was enough to rank second. From this, one could see how strong the force behind him was. The 9th prince was extremely talented and had a good character. However, due to his weak background, he was ranked 6th. The 8th prince was calm and talented, so he was ranked 7th. The above information is only an estimate, so please continue to pay attention. The 9th prince's background is the weakest among the 10 princes, but he's ranked 6th. Zhao Feng felt certain about the 9th prince. Of the 3 princes that Zhao Feng had interacted with so far, the 9th prince had given Zhao Feng the best impression. Zhao Feng stopped walking and looked at the elegant building in front of him. Saint Herb Pavilion. It was the largest herb trading center in Long Rainbow City and the most famous in the Cloud Province. With Zhao Feng's wealth, he obviously wanted to buy the best herbs. Welcome. May I ask what herbs you need? I can introduce them to you. Immediately, an elegant woman in a green silk gown came forward and guided the customers to make their purchases. I need precious herbs of the fire attribute. Zhao Feng said directly. Alright, please follow me. All the precious herbs are on the 5th floor. The elegant woman's face lit up. Just by looking at his appearance, she could tell that this guest was not ordinary. Sure enough, the first thing he asked for was precious medicinal ingredients. The Celestial Herb Pavilion had a total of 9 floors. Each floor was extremely spacious, and the medicinal ingredients were plentiful and complete. Zhao Feng could tell with a single glance. The first floor of the Celestial Herb Pavilion was filled with people, and most of them were herbs that true human ranks needed. On the 5th floor, there were only a few hundred supremacies who were earnestly choosing medicinal ingredients. Zhao Feng's expression remained the same. He ignored it and continued to ascend. Sir, you. The elegant lady was stunned. This guest didn't even look at the herbs on the 5th floor. I want the best herbs. Zhao Feng's voice echoed in the woman's soul. The elegant woman's body trembled as she hurriedly followed behind Zhao Feng. Guest, please follow me to the 8th floor. The higher the floor, even if there was an array to seal the aura. Zhao Feng could still smell the rare herbs. Only 5 emperors were choosing herbs on the 8th floor. "Brother Zhao, why are you here?" A handsome golden-robed youth looked at Zhao Feng's golden hair. He hesitated for a moment before immediately coming over with joy. A black-robed elder followed behind the golden-robed youth. He looked at the golden-haired and golden-eyed Zhao Feng with a deep gaze. Seeing that the 9th young master knew this golden-haired youth, the elegant lady immediately backed off and went down the stairs. The pavilion master had told them not to ask about anything related to the 9th young master. Zhao Feng didn't expect to see the 9th prince here. Did the 9th prince need to come out personally to choose herbs? Did he need Old Ing to accompany him? Zhao Feng could guess what was going on and raised his head to look at the 9th floor. "I have some matters to attend to, so I came over." Zhao Feng didn't want to talk about the Duanmu family. "I wonder if Brother Zhao has thought it through." When the 9th prince saw Zhao Feng, he thought that Zhao Feng had agreed to his request and came to the inner region to look for him. After hearing Zhao Feng's reply, the 9th prince knew that he was overthinking. However, he still didn't give up on Zhao Feng. As long as Zhao Feng wasn't recruited by the other princes, the 9th prince still had a chance. "I'm not sure. I'll think about it for a while longer." Zhao Feng was here for the engagement and didn't have the time to care about anything else. The 9th prince's expression froze for a moment and dimmed slightly. Then, he smiled and said, "Indeed, this is Brother Zhao's style. You are very similar to that person up there. Why don't Brother 9th introduce me to that person up there?" Zhao Feng revealed a faint smile. The herbs on the 8th floor were indeed rare, but there weren't many fire elemental herbs. If one wanted more precious herbs, one might as well ask the pavilion master. Furthermore, this pavilion master was extraordinary. Otherwise, the 9th prince wouldn't have tried to recruit him. Furthermore, the 9th prince seemed to have suffered setbacks. "Sure, let's go." The 9th prince's expression froze for a moment before he immediately agreed. He was just worried that he wouldn't be able to find an excuse to get kicked down again. When Zhao Feng stepped onto the 9th floor, he knew that he had come to the right place. Fire elemental particles floated in the air. "9th young master, you really don't need to come anymore." "I won't agree." An impatient female's voice sounded when they arrived on the 9th floor. An elder in black stood at the entrance. He had the cultivation of an emperor, and he only nodded his head slightly when he saw the 9th prince. This time, elder sister Su, it's Brother Zhao. He wants to meet you and buy some rare herbs. The 9th prince quickly explained. Zhao Feng glanced over and saw a female in white. Her face was as clear as jade, and her eyebrows were slightly furrowed. She bent down and stared at the purple beehive in the purple wooden box. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect the pavilion master of the Saint Herb Pavilion to be such a young beauty. "Not interested. They can be found downstairs." Zhou Su stared at the purple beehive with her eyebrows slightly furrowed. She didn't even look at the 9th prince. The 9th prince looked at Zhao Feng, indicating that there was nothing he could do about the pavilion master's personality. Zhao Feng was slightly stunned. This girl didn't even put the 9th prince in her eyes. From this, one could see that the force behind her wasn't simple. "Pavilion master, I've just arrived on the 9th floor, and I'm already interested in the herb in front of you." Zhao Feng was even more certain after glancing at the beehive in the purple wooden box. Zhou Su frowned her eyebrows. She stood up and looked at Zhao Feng as she said impatiently, "You're interested in this herb? Do you know what it is?" Zhou Su was speechless. From her point of view, this person was someone the 9th prince had randomly arranged to talk to her. "Sky Rainbow Fire Beehive," Zhao Feng quickly said. His left eye had a photographic memory, and it was easy for him to memorize things. Zhou Su was slightly surprised. The 9th prince had randomly arranged someone to answer her question correctly. The ninth prince and Old Ing paused for a moment. They didn't know the name of the beehive, but Zhao Feng had answered correctly. Could it be that Zhao Feng had a deep understanding of herbs? You guessed correctly, but I'm not done with this sky rainbow fire beehive yet. I'm not selling it. Zhou Su inspected the youth in front of her before decisively rejecting him. Then quickly get rid of the poison and sell it to me. Zhao Feng bluntly said. Zhou Su almost tripped over her feet. She turned around and stared at Zhao Feng as she cursed in her heart. This brat is doing this on purpose, right? If I could get rid of the poison, I would have done it already. Sell it to me, and I'll get rid of the poison myself. Zhao Feng added when he felt the anger in Zhou Su's eyes. What? You? Zhou Su exclaimed, but she immediately stopped herself. She had obtained this sky rainbow fire beehive for a month, and she still hadn't found a way to get rid of the poison. Now, a random youth had casually said that he could get rid of the poison. Humph, if you take it back and poison it to death, the Saint Herb Pavilion's reputation will be tarnished. Zhou Su pouted as she inspected Zhao Feng. How about this? I'll show you how to get rid of the poison. If I succeed, then sell it to me. Zhao Feng gave a warm smile. Sure, if you can get rid of the poison in this sky rainbow fire beehive, I'll give it to you. Also, if you want any other herbs, I'll personally take you to pick them. Zhou Su didn't believe that this youth who was only in his teens could really get rid of the poison. Of course, if Zhao Feng really could, she could secretly learn it and give it to Zhao Feng. The ninth prince was overjoyed. If Zhao Feng could really get rid of the poison, then he would have something to talk to Zhou Su about. Zhao Feng looked at the purple beehive and circulated his magnificent power, causing the beehive to float in the air. A layer of golden light suddenly glittered from his left eye, and a surge of soul intent surged out of his god tribulation lightning soul body and entered his left eye. The souls of the three spectators and the elder at the entrance trembled as they looked at the golden-haired youth in panic. What powerful soul intent! The heart of the elder at the entrance shook. Who is this youth? Zhou Su's expression became solemn. This youth wasn't simple. Only Old Ing and the ninth prince knew that Zhao Feng had suppressed his soul intent. When as he circulated his eye intent, a mysterious faint golden light merged into his left eye from the golden ball of light. Whoosh! A mysterious golden beam of light shot out and brushed past the surface of the purple beehive before passing through it. Zhao Feng soon grasped the situation of the poison and the beehive. The poison particles flowed through the cracks of the beehive and almost became one with it. However, from Zhao Feng's point of view, the poison particles were of the element of darkness, while the beehive particles were of the element of fire and wood. The difference between the two was extremely obvious. From the looks of it, the poison hadn't corroded the beehive too much, and the two particles hadn't fused yet. Disintegrate. The faint golden beam of light suddenly lit up with a golden light. The part of the purple beehive that was pierced by the faint golden beam of light instantly turned red. Zhou Su and everyone else's jaws dropped as they looked at Zhao Feng's miraculous golden eye in disbelief. It's this simple. It couldn't have just been dyed red. At this moment, Zhao Feng had already stopped disintegrating. Partial disintegration was a new method that Zhao Feng had found in the misty spatial world. This method of disintegration was suitable for disintegrating matter or souls that had completely different elements. It used up a lot of energy from his left eye, and he needed to control it very carefully. Even though Zhao Feng had mastered the 10,000 divine thoughts technique, he didn't dare to be careless. If he was in battle, Zhao Feng wouldn't be able to do partial disintegration. You really got rid of the poison? How did you do it? Zhou Su couldn't remain calm anymore. She didn't know how to learn it. Chapter 9:18. You really got rid of the poison? How did you do it? Zhou Su couldn't remain calm anymore. She couldn't understand it at all. How was she supposed to learn it? Even old Ing, who was very knowledgeable, was stunned and started to think. He thought that Zhao Feng might use some unknown technique to get rid of the poison, but he didn't expect it to be an eye bloodline technique. 80% of eye bloodline techniques were related to the soul and couldn't affect the physical world. On top of that, he couldn't understand the eye bloodline technique that Zhao Feng just used. Whoosh! Zhao Feng waved his left arm and put the sky rainbow fire beehive into the misty spatial world. Take me to pick some other herbs. Zhao Feng ignored Zhou Su's question and revealed a playful smile. Sure, you can pick any 10 herbs that are as valuable as the sky rainbow fire beehive. I won't charge you anything, but you must tell me how to get rid of the poison. Zhou Su's eyebrows furrowed as she stomped her foot in anger. She then boasted that she wanted to trade for Zhao Feng's poison removal method. One had to know that the sky rainbow fire beehive was as valuable as a green water sky lotus. In the outside world, it was an extremely rare resource. Even peak emperors of major forces wouldn't be able to reject such a temptation. I have a lot of primal crystal stones. Zhao Feng immediately explained. Fine, you have primal crystal stones. You're so stubborn. Zhou Su stomped her foot in anger and squeezed out a smile. This youth was too stubborn. The 9th prince laughed. He didn't tell Zhou Su who Zhao Feng was. With what Zhao Feng had obtained in the divine illusion dimension, he wouldn't care about the value of these herbs. Seeing Zhou Su, who had been rejecting him all this time, get frustrated because of Zhao Feng's injuries, the 9th prince felt great and couldn't help but laugh. I need the best fire elemental resources here, Zhao Feng said. If it was any other time, Zhou Su would be happy if a guest said this. However, at this moment, her eyes were filled with bitterness as she stared at Zhao Feng. There was only one sentence in her mind, so stubborn. Therefore, Zhou Su took out some fire elemental treasures from her treasure vault for Zhao Feng to choose from. The ability of King Tong allowed Zhao Feng to directly see the number of fire particles contained in each medicinal material. Zhao Feng used this to determine the value of some unknown herbs to him. Sister Su, please reconsider. There are many rare treasures in the imperial tombs, and there are even treasures left behind from the immemorial era. At this moment, the 9th prince stepped forward and tried to persuade Su Chen again. I've made up my mind. I don't want to go. Zhou Su stared at Zhao Feng, who was still choosing the herbs, and ignored the 9th prince. I know you hate father, but, the 9th prince sighed in his heart. Shut up, don't mention him. Zhou Su interrupted the 9th prince, and her eyes turned cold. Zhao Feng, who was in the middle of choosing herbs, was shocked. He had already guessed this woman's identity. On top of that, the 9th prince probably wanted to recruit Zhou Su because of her healing abilities. Zhao Feng originally wanted to buy herbs and help the 9th prince get close to the person he wanted to recruit. However, the 9th prince's words touched Zhou Su's bottom line and stopped the negotiation. The Sacred Emperor's favorite 13th prince has a high chance of becoming the crown prince. If you hate the Sacred Emperor, then you should help the 9th prince become the crown prince. Isn't that good? Zhao Feng smiled warmly and said casually as a bystander after choosing the herbs. Zhou Su's heart seemed to be moved, and she suddenly looked at Zhao Feng. She wanted to say something, but she didn't. She turned her head and looked into the distance with her watery eyes. The hearts of the 13th prince and Olding shook. Zhao Feng's words were very precise. Furthermore, these words would only be convincing if someone else said it. The 9th prince gave Zhao Feng a grateful look before looking at Zhou Su and waiting for her reaction. Zhao Feng put down an interspatial ring and left after picking the herbs. Zhao Feng strolled around for a while after leaving the Saint Herb Pavilion before leaving the market. There were many small mountains and a quiet forest. This was a place where there weren't many people. You guys are really patient. Zhao Feng stopped and turned around. His left eye locked onto a direction several thousand miles away and sent out a soul message. Go. 4 gray figures suddenly charged out from the dark forest and surrounded Zhao Feng. Aura of the demonic Tao. 9 Darkness Palace. Zhao Feng indifferently said as he looked at one of the elders with a gloomy expression. The elder's expression didn't change as he messaged the other 3. They had been following Zhao Feng for a long time, and they became cautious when they saw that Zhao Feng had entered the St. Herb Pavilion and talked to the 9th prince on the 8th floor. This period of time was extremely sensitive, especially when it came to the princes participating in the battle to become crown prince. If Zhao Feng was recruited by the 9th prince, they would assassinate him, and the Imperials would definitely investigate this matter. If that was the case, then the Imperial family would definitely investigate this matter. This was a serious act of interfering with the battle for the position of crown prince, and there were many implications behind it. Even the 9 Nether Palace would be troubled by this. A black metallic token suddenly appeared in the elder's hand, and a soul undulation came from it as information entered the elder's soul. The grim elder looked at the other 3 black figures and faintly nodded his head. The 4 demonic Tao emperors instantly released their little worlds and merged them together. An invisible power of laws spread through the air. Zhao Feng felt as if he had entered a world of darkness. Currents of darkness roared in the darkness, shaking one's soul. The laws of a little world restricted him, and the disturbance of space was unstable. In this situation, he couldn't use the misty spatial world. 9 Darkness Palace still hasn't learned their lesson from the death of a sacred lord last time. Zhao Feng had a calm expression as he smiled and spoke. Brat, if you didn't have a substandard god weapon, would you have been able to kill a 9 Darkness demonic lord? The elder covered in black couldn't help but snicker. Zhao Feng was only at the late stages of the void god realm. No matter how talented he was and how many methods he had, 3 unrivaled emperors and 1 peak emperor were enough. Furthermore, they already had a plan for this trip. The 4 surrounded Zhao Feng and used long-range attacks to exhaust him. Once Zhao Feng used the substandard god-slaying arrow, they would quickly scatter, and only one of them would die in the end. It would all depend on their luck now. The 4 emperors suddenly attacked, and the power of their attacks increased within their little worlds. Zhao Feng was heavily suppressed. Sacred lightning dominating body. Golden lightning flashed around Zhao Feng's body, and he suddenly became taller. He was like a golden blue giant, and his powerful physical force caused the little worlds of the 4 emperors to twist and become unstable. Boom! Boom! The attacks of the 4 emperors landed on Zhao Feng's golden blue body and created sparks of lightning before disappearing. What? This brat's body is already this strong? The elder with a grim expression was shocked. According to the reports, Zhao Feng's defense was shocking, but he didn't expect it to be this strong. He was able to take the attacks of the 4 emperors head-on. This meant that it would be difficult to force out the god-slaying arrow from Zhao Feng's hand. Use your full power. The voice of the old lady sounded from the other pillar of black demonic flames as she unleashed a weird black and white flame from her palms. This brat can't be allowed to live. A black bone staff appeared in the elder with a grim expression. On the staff was a black demonic pearl that gave off a chilling aura. Demonic Sky Charge. The elder with a grim expression waved the bone staff, and a ball of black demonic light shot out from the black demonic pearl along with a dark soul ripple. Boom! 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 The 4 emperors circulated their power of the demonic Tao and used their full power. The entire world of darkness was filled with demonic aura, and ghostly cries could be heard. Ha ha ha, come! Sacred lightning protection. When an ancient barrier of lightning suddenly formed around Zhao Feng's body. Golden lightning flashed, and the sound of wind and lightning boomed. All the attacks were blocked by the sacred lightning protection. At this instant, lightning flashed, and lightning flashed. Boom! The ancient barrier of lightning on the surface of Zhao Feng's body released a dazzling arc of lightning that instantly shattered all the attacks. The soul attacks that seeped in were instantly destroyed by the power of God Tribulation Lightning when they came into contact with Zhao Feng's God Tribulation Lightning soul body. Zhao Feng noticed this. He suddenly thought about whether he could use the sacred lightning protection to create a soul defense technique. However, he put that thought aside for now. Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body hadn't fought anyone head-on ever since it reached the peak 5th level. It just so happened that someone had come to help Zhao Feng refine his sacred lightning body and awaken the physical power that had accumulated in his body for half a year. All of a sudden, the power of the small worlds in the surroundings dissipated. The 4 demonic Tao emperors had already used secret techniques to escape. Not good, I've exposed too much of my strength. They're running away. Zhao Feng was slightly awkward, but he then laughed coldly, do you think you can escape? Boom! This sentence sounded in the souls of the 4 emperors at the same time, and it made their souls tremble. Cold sweat covered their bodies as they used their concealment techniques to increase their speed. When a powerful soul undulation started to form in Zhao Feng's left eye, and his golden eye shot out countless rays of golden light. A faint golden transparent eye of heaven appeared above the elder with a grim expression, and a golden bolt of lightning shot out into the elder's soul. The golden bolt of lightning had a certain penetrative ability, and it entered the depths of the soul. The power of God Tribulation Lightning then flashed, and the elder's body started to fall. At the same time, a faint golden beam of light shot out from Zhao Feng's left eye. It passed through everything without any obstruction and landed on the head of the black figure that was running away several thousand miles away. A weird scene appeared. The black figure's head suddenly disappeared, and its body started to fall. Lightning Wing Spatial Flash. After using 2 eye bloodline techniques, Zhao Feng's body turned into a scarlet-red bolt of lightning and disappeared into the air. In the next instant, Zhao Feng appeared several thousand miles away, and his metal lightning body flashed with lightning as it suppressed the area. The scarlet wings of lightning on his back suddenly flapped, and a storm of lightning and fire intertwined in heaven and earth. A pale-faced old lady squeezed out from the shadows below. Sacred Lightning Dominating Fist. Zhao Feng punched out with both fists, unleashing dazzling waves of fist energy that engulfed the old woman in black like a metallic mountain of lightning. Not dead. Zhao Feng exclaimed as his eyes locked onto the flashing figure in the air. Boom! Whoosh! Zhao Feng circulated his blood devil sun bloodline, and his body shook as flames started to flash around him. Whoosh! 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 Zhao Feng created a storm of flames and lightning, and he was like a ball of blood-red lightning that shot forward with unparalleled speed. Boom! The old lady was hit by a ball of blood-red lightning, and her body shattered. Meow! A dark silver light flashed, and the little thieving cat appeared on Zhao Feng's shoulder, as if it was asking for credit. 4 emperors had been killed. Zhao Feng let out a long breath. He was suppressed by everyone in the Duanmu family, and due to many reasons, he couldn't do anything. He had a stomach full of anger. Now, these people from 9 Darkness Palace had taken the initiative to help him vent his anger. After taking care of the 4, Zhao Feng revealed a faint smile and looked into the distance. Was the performance enjoyable? Chapter 919. Gentlemen, was this performance enjoyable? Zhao Feng's warm greeting sounded in the souls of the 2 middle-aged males and woke them up from their daze. Their souls started to tremble in fear. The 2 looked at each other before taking out a dark yellow talisman and imprinting their soul intent on it. The talisman then merged into the air and disappeared. They were professional intelligence agents that specialized in concealment, detection, and tracking. Therefore, they had a rough understanding of Zhao Feng's battle just now. They didn't expect Zhao Feng to notice them from the very beginning. Zhao Feng chased after the old granny just to get closer to them in case they sensed something was wrong and ran away. They admired Zhao Feng's strength and intelligence. The two had nowhere to run, so they could only send out the news before they died. Whoosh! A faint golden light pierced through everything and shot into the distance. In the next instant, the dark yellow talisman appeared in the air before slowly fading. The hearts of the two males shook once again, and they looked at the blood-flaming giant of lightning in the sky with despair in their eyes. The two couldn't even speak due to the limitless power. They knelt on the ground and waited for their judgment. Zhao Feng's left eye focused, and a surge of powerful soul eye bloodline power appeared and locked onto their souls. Soul search. A wicked soul undulation appeared from his left eye and charged into their souls. 2 breaths later, Zhao Feng waved his hand, and the power of scarlet lightning and blood fire turned their bodies into dust. 13th Prince. Zhao Feng's eyes were cold. He knew everything from the soul search. The 13th Prince's faction had secretly sent the news to 9 Darkness Palace. They wanted 9 Darkness Palace to attack first. Firstly, they were afraid of the god-slaying arrow in Zhao Feng's hand. Secondly, they were here to check his strength. If 9 Darkness Palace failed, they would be able to send assassins to deal with Zhao Feng. As I thought, Yu Fei is still in the dark. Zhao Feng was even more certain, and a cold light appeared in his eyes. Eliminating Zhao Feng was the 13th Prince's plan. As long as Xiao Qin died, the pillar of support in Zhao Yufei's heart would collapse. Furthermore, the 13th Prince would be able to pacify Zhao Yufei and slowly gain her favor. If he could seize the position of Crown Prince, everything would be much easier. Hee, you want me dead? You want to ascend to the position of Crown Prince? Zhao Feng sneered. His eyes were cold, and an invisible killing intent caused the surrounding area to darken. However, 9 Darkness Palace and the 13th Prince's faction won't give up so easily. Zhao Feng's eyes turned deep as he started to think. For the sake of obtaining Zhao Yufei, the 13th Prince would definitely eliminate Xiao Qin. The faction behind the 13th Prince was overwhelming, and it was impossible to guard against it. Furthermore, 9 Darkness Palace had the same thoughts as the 13th Prince's faction. However, 9 Darkness Palace was willing to send out 4 great emperors in exchange for one of Zhao Feng's god-slaying arrows. These 4 great emperors probably didn't know that the upper echelon of 9 Darkness Palace didn't expect them to be able to kill Zhao Feng. Unfortunately, they were all dead, and no one would be able to bring the information back. Zhao Feng made up his mind after thinking for a while, and a smile appeared on his face. Hee, looks like it's destined. The 9th God's Eye and the 9th Prince. After making up his mind, Zhao Feng immediately flew toward Long Rainbow City. St. Herb Pavilion, the 9th Prince was still on the 9th floor, talking to Zhou Su. Zhao Feng went straight up. Why are you here again? Zhou Su's unhappy voice sounded first. She couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng. This youth was too stubborn. Zhao Feng ignored her. He walked before the 9th Prince and said, 9th Prince, if your promise is still valid, I'll agree to it. The 9th Prince paused for a moment before becoming overjoyed. When he met Zhao Feng, he asked Zhao Feng about it, but Zhao Feng said that he wasn't interested. He originally didn't have much hope. After 2.5 years, Zhao Feng should have thought it through long ago. However, he didn't expect Zhao Feng to agree right after leaving for a while. Just as Zhou Su said, he was too stubborn. Furthermore, his conversation with Zhou Su had progressed due to Zhao Feng's suggestion. The 9th Prince's confidence instantly rose. In the 9th Prince's heart, Zhao Feng specialized in soul attacks and could become a main combatant. He was also an outstanding beast tamer, and he had the misty spatial world as a support tool. Zhou Su's eyebrows furrowed slightly. After Zhao Feng left, the ninth prince told Zhou Su about Zhao Feng's identity, which surprised her. Thinking about how many forces in the divine illusion dimension in ancient mysterious palace had suffered at the hands of Zhao Feng and couldn't do anything to him, Zhou Su felt much better. The ninth prince then told her about how he wanted to recruit Zhao Feng. Even now, Zhao Feng still hadn't agreed and hadn't joined any of the other princes. Zhou Su was the same. Up until now, the fourth prince, the seventh prince, and the eighth prince had all come to express their intentions, but she had rejected them all. Why did you suddenly agree to him? Zhou Su walked forward and looked at Zhao Feng's eyes. Zhao Feng hadn't agreed to the ninth prince in the past 2.5 years, but why did he agree after leaving for a while? She was very confused. What had happened that made him so decisive? Because I want to kill the 13th prince. Zhao Feng smiled faintly and said. The 13th prince had harmed Zhao Feng and caused him to be in a stalemate with the Duanmu family. His master, Duanmu Qing, was in a difficult position, and Zhao Yufei was very sad. This person couldn't be forgiven. The expressions of the ninth prince, Old Ing, and the elder in black at the entrance changed, and they held their breaths as they looked deeply at Zhao Feng. If this was said in the outside world, Zhao Feng would have been dead already. Although the ninth prince was the 13th prince's older brother, the mothers of almost all the princes were different people. The princes seemed to get along on the surface, but they all wanted each other to die, and that was just hope. The princes wouldn't attack each other, not even in the dark. Once they were found out, they would lose their imperial bloodline forever. He. Zhou Su suddenly laughed coldly and said casually, I want to kill him as well. Ninth brother, I agree to your request. The ninth prince was still guessing why Zhao Feng said this, but Zhou Su also said the same thing and agreed to his request. The ninth prince was still trying to figure out why Zhao Feng said this, but Zhou Su also said the same thing and agreed to his request. All of this happened so quickly that he didn't dare to believe it. He instantly obtained 2 top-notch subordinates. He suddenly felt that all of this was because of his 13th brother, and he should thank him in person. Olding revealed a joyful smile as he looked deeply at Zhao Feng. Originally, the ninth prince's chances of winning in the battle for the crown prince position were 0. However, there was a sliver of hope now. Also, little friend Zhao Feng, we're on the same side now. Can you tell me how you got rid of the poison? Zhou Su's personality suddenly changed, and she revealed a cute smile as she looked at Zhao Feng as if she knew him very well. The surrounding people blushed with shame. As expected, women changed faces faster than flipping a book. However, they were also curious. I'll explain it to you in the future if I have the chance. Now that we're on the same side, shouldn't the herbs of the Saint Herb Pavilion be given to us for free? Zhao Feng avoided Zhou Su's question and countered with another question. It didn't matter if he told others about the ability of his left eye, but he definitely couldn't reveal the principle of disintegration. Zhou Su's expression instantly froze. As expected, it was impossible for her to take advantage of Zhao Feng. Ha ha ha. The ninth prince laughed. He was very happy today. Ninth prince, I just came to the inner continent and don't have a place to stay. Can I? Zhao Feng asked awkwardly. He came to find the ninth prince to find a safe place to stay. I understand. Brother Zhao, why don't you come to my place? It's relatively quiet and suitable for cultivation. The ninth prince understood what Zhao Feng meant, and he knew that Zhao Feng was a cultivation maniac, so he invited Zhao Feng to his place. Then I'll be troubling you. Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly and wasn't polite at all. There was no place safer than the Imperial's palace. This meant that his identity was obvious. Even the 13th prince and 9 Darkness Palace wouldn't dare to do anything to him. Elder sister Su, I'll be leaving now. The 9th prince said goodbye to Zhou Su, and headed toward the Imperial Palace with Zhao Feng and Old Ing. Ninth Prince, Zhou Su, is a princess. Zhao Feng could guess from how the ninth prince called Zhou Su, That's right. Elder sister Su, was once my father's favorite princess. The ninth prince said with a faint smile. Then why did she leave the imperial palace? Zhao Feng didn't understand. Furthermore, Zhou Su, seemed to have a huge feud with the sacred emperor and the 13th prince. Zhou Su's mother used to be the sacred empress, but she passed away. The ninth prince had a gentle expression as he sighed. There was no friendship between the princes, but princesses were different. There was no conflict of interest between them. All the princes tried their best to get on the good side of the princesses. This was because the partners of the princesses would definitely be from a major force in the future. Zhao Feng nodded his head and understood. After Zhou Su's mother passed away, the sacred emperor married another woman, and his son was the 13th prince. No wonder. No wonder Zhou Su would say the same thing back then. However, although Zhao Feng said that, he wouldn't act blindly. The sacred emperor and sacred empress stood behind the 13th prince, and they were the symbol of the Lord dynasty. On the other hand, the Great Gan Lord dynasty had a 4-star power, the Grand Imperial Hall. He wouldn't attack the 13th prince unless he was 100% confident. 20 days later, Zhao Feng arrived at the imperial palace. As he got closer to the imperial palace, Zhao Feng could faintly feel an invisible force protecting heaven and earth. Zhao Feng felt as if he had entered someone else's territory when he stepped in. All his actions were controlled by a mysterious force. Apart from the sacred emperor and some special organizations, flying was forbidden within the imperial palace. Zhao Feng followed the ninth prince and entered the imperial palace through the main gates. Zhao Feng. A familiar voice came from the front. Brother eighth prince. The ninth prince had a faint smile and a hint of smugness. He believed that the 8th and 13th princes knew how strong Zhao Feng was. The 8th prince knew Zhao Feng before he entered the divine illusion dimension. Now, he had successfully recruited Zhao Feng. Luo Zun was still next to the 8th prince. Both of them had complicated expressions as they looked at Zhao Feng. The 8th prince was actually somewhat regretful. If it wasn't for Luo Shui's matter, he wouldn't have made such a decision. If it wasn't for Luo Shui, he wouldn't have had so many misunderstandings with Zhao Feng. He would have been the one recruiting Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's performance in the divine illusion dimension had slightly suppressed the 4th prince's right-hand man, Xin Wuheng. Zhao Feng was now at the late-stage void god realm. However, he didn't dare to estimate his true strength. Furthermore, he didn't dare to look at Zhao Feng's golden eyes directly, and his soul trembled. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.